Chapter 2501. Among the lackeys, the elders, and disciples of the nine heavens, sacred ground, were crying emotionally, "Elder, save us! You must save us! Kill him! You must kill him! I want to tear him into pieces!" They roared like crazy, but what awaited them was a few slaps. The crimson dragon sent them flying, and now you want to escape? They haven't saved you yet. 9 great lackeys cover us. The dark, red, divine dragon gave the order. At the same time, it spoke to the 3 immortal palace martial artists at its side. "Let's leave quickly. There are too many of them. We'll be at a disadvantage if we continue fighting." He was a wily old fox. He wouldn't do anything that would put him at a disadvantage. If it was a one-on-one fight, he wouldn't be afraid of any elder. He could even kill them. But there were so many of them. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't win against them. Therefore, he quickly retreated with the 3 immortal palace martial artists. The 9 lackeys also wanted to escape, but unfortunately, their lives were still in the hands of the crimson dragon. Therefore, they could only obediently resist. But this time, there were too many people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground. In an instant, they were surrounded by more than a dozen figures. They couldn't exert any strength at all. The remaining people were like a sharp sword, piercing through the sky and killing the crimson dragon. The crimson dragon roared, and his body expanded. The dragon blood in his body surged and wrapped around the 3 immortal palace martial artists, increasing his speed. However, the people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, were determined to kill them. Moreover, their companions were still surrounded by the enemy. How could they let them go without saving their companions? Therefore, they chased them all the way and finally came to an empty cave. Buzz! Buzz! The 3 elders of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, formed a seal and raised their hands. 3 phoenix phantoms covered the sky and covered the entire space. The dark divine dragon was blocked and stopped. The army behind them charged over and completely surrounded them. "Master Long, what should we do?" Seeing this, the 3 immortal palace martial artists were terrified. The crimson dragon's face was gloomy. Beside him, the 9 heavens, sacred grounds lackeys who were tied up laughed wildly. "Ha ha ha! Did you see that? This is what you get for provoking us. You're dead meat." They gritted their teeth. Finally, they had a chance to take revenge. However, the crimson dragon smashed half of their heads with a slap, and there are many cracks on their bodies. "If you dare to threaten me, I'll kill all of you with a single slap. Damn it, let our people go." Seeing this, the army of the 9 heavens, holy ground, roared in anger. This time there were dozens of them, and they were not afraid of any sudden changes. This was unless Immortal Palace's great army also came. However, they suspected that this dragon didn't have any summoning and transport items in its hands. Otherwise, the Crimson Dragon Immortal Palace martial artists. Indeed, Immortal Palace's 3 individuals were also asking about it. The dark, red, divine dragon shook its head. This emperor didn't have that kind of thing, but perhaps little Xianzi had it. What now? The 3 of them felt as if the sky was falling. However, the crimson divine dragon waved its arm. "Don't, Immortal Palace martial artists." In an instant, he set up layers of array formations, enveloping the surroundings and forming a defensive barrier. Then the crimson dragon said, "Don't worry, although I can't contact the Immortal Palace martial artists, I can contact Xiao Xuanzi. Let him save us." "Contact the palace master." The Immortal Palace martial artists were excited. As long as they could contact the palace master, they could contact Xing Tian, Elderly, and the others. When the Immortal Palace martial artists came, they would have hope. Therefore, the Immortal Palace martial artists were relieved. The 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists snorted coldly. "You want to trap us with an array? You want to call for reinforcements? Not so easy. 9 heavens, divine palm." An elder stood out and waved his palm. Light shone in the sky, and the whole space shook violently. 9 large palms appeared in the sky and slammed forward in an overwhelming manner. Pung, pung, pung. The fierce collision shook the sky and the earth. The bright light screen shook as if it would break at any time. But in the end, it did not break. It was blocked. It could be blocked. Inside the formation, when the 3 immortal palace martial artists saw this scene, they were extremely excited. The 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists frowned. Damn it, what kind of array is this? How can it be so strong? The crimson dragon sneered. Idiot, you think you can break my array so easily? How can it be? His attainments in formations had far surpassed their imaginations. On top of that, he had many treasures in his possession. Therefore, the formations he created were incomparably powerful. How can a peerless Almighty break it? If 1 is not enough, then 2, 3. I don't believe that I can't break your defensive array. The 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists were filled with killing intent. Sure enough, the 3 elders descended from the sky like gods and demons, and their bodies were emitting a strong aura. The 3 of them used their ultimate skills and attacked the array below. Sure enough, the light screen shook violently. It seemed that it could not take it anymore, but in the end it resisted. Damn it, he was actually able to resist it. The 3 peerless almighties were shocked. This is impossible. At this moment, the 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists, finally screamed. So what? I don't believe that he can resist all of us. Everyone, listen up. Attack together. In the sky, dozens of figures flashed, and a vast sea of energy surged. Seeing this, the Crimson Dragon's face changed. Damn it. Do you really think that Ben Huang is easy to bully? I'll let you taste some pain first. The Crimson Dragon waved his dragon claws again, for killing arrays descended from the sky, enveloping the 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists. Let's see if you can break my array. Sure enough, the killing arrays were extremely terrifying. They turned into a peerless killing intent and enveloped the 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists. Ah! The 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists screamed and fought back madly. The elders also roared in anger. Damn it, is this snake an array master? How can he have so many arrays? Under the siege of the 4 killing arrays, the 9 heavens, sacred ground martial artists temporarily gave up on attacking and started to fight back. Seeing this, the 3 martial artists from Immortal Palace heaved a sigh of relief. The Crimson Dragon sneered. This is Ben Huang's strength. Do you see? If Ben Huang uses all his killing arrays, it'll be easy to kill you. He snorted and ignored the people in front of him. Instead, he stared at the 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens, sacred ground. In the next moment, he said coldly, "The 5 of you, get over here. Make dinner for Ben Huang." As he said that, he took out a few demonic beasts from his storage ring. This one is steamed, this one is barbecued, and this one is braised. Make some food for me. Otherwise, I have plenty of ways to torture you. The Crimson Dragon opened his mouth and spat out clouds of chi, which evolved in the air. Tables, chairs, pavilions, and all kinds of exquisite decorations appeared in the cave. Those who didn't know would think that it was a palace. The 3 martial artists from Immortal Palace were dumbfounded. The Crimson Dragon waved his dragon claws. Stop looking, come and enjoy. I have spiritual fruits, spiritual wine, and spiritual tea. What do you want? He waved his hand, and the tables were filled with all kinds of food. Chapter 2502. This was great. Ben Huang loved to eat. Following Lin Xian and Whitey, he also loved to eat barbecued meat and spirit fruits. If it was in the past, he would have skinned these demonic beasts alive. The 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens, holy ground, had no choice. They wanted to resist, but after a few slaps, they screamed in pain. Therefore, they could only bite the bullet and cook for the other party. Outside, the experts of the 9 heavens holy ground who were fighting against the killing array vomited blood. Ah, damn it. This was too despicable. They were fighting with their lives to fight against the killing array, but the other party was enjoying his dinner so leisurely. All kinds of braising and steaming. This made them mad. They were the hunters, okay. The other party was surrounded by them. But why didn't he look anxious at all? They all regretted coming here. The commotion here naturally attracted the attention of the surrounding martial artists. Those martial artists couldn't find any treasures in a short time, so they came to investigate. When they saw this scene, they exclaimed. More and more people came to watch, and there were about 100 people discussing. What was going on? Were the people of the 9 heavens, holy ground, fighting against the immortal palace? Sure enough, the news of the 9 heavens, holy ground being attacked by the main force of the immortal palace was true. Otherwise, the 9 heavens, holy ground wouldn't be so crazy. Look at that snake. Aren't they Lin Xian's lackeys? They were trapped by the 9 heavens, holy ground. Trapped. What a joke. They were enjoying life, and the people of the 9 heavens, holy ground, are fighting with their lives. Who do you think is trapping who? These people discussed animatedly, and they were shocked. Then someone in the crowd screamed, F***CK. Which snake are they cooking for? Are they from the 9 heavens, holy ground? What's going on? Aren't they fighting? Why are the people of the 9 heavens, holy ground, cooking for the other party? Inside the array, the 3 martial artists of the immortal palace looked around and said loudly, What do you know? These people are the lackeys of our Lord Long. What? Lackeys? Everyone's mouth twitched, and the experts of the 9 heavens, holy ground, who were fighting against the killing array, vomited blood. Bullshit. Who are your lackeys? Damn it, I'll kill you. Don't give me the chance, or I'll make you regret it. They were furious. They were the elders of the 9 heavens, holy ground, and yet they had become the lackeys of a snake. Moreover, they were being watched by so many people from the Holy Lands. How were they going to survive in the future? The Crimson Dragon didn't care about these things. He took out a small formation and began to contact Lin Xian. Although it was enjoying the show, it knew that the people of the 9 firmament's sacred emperor would still be in danger after breaking the killing array. That was why they had to contact Lin Xian and have him lead Immortal Palace's army over. The Crimson Dragon began to transmit messages to the array formation. The formation flickered, and the message was sent out. Little Xian, hurry up and reply when you see the message. Ben Huang was about to be besieged. The dark sorcerer god sighed as he ate the golden roasted meat. How was he in any danger? Ancient tomb, in a stone house, inside the black earth vessel. Lin Xian was cultivating when a certain array formation inside the black earth vessel suddenly moved. It shone brightly. Seeing this, He too floated over and waved his broken sword to open the array formation. Then the cries of the crimson dragon god could be heard. Kid, save me. Ben Huang is trapped. The 9 heavens holy ground is sending an army to kill us. Hurry up and come. Otherwise, you won't be able to see Ben Huang. The crimson dragon's cries echoed in the black earth vessel. It sounded very miserable. Those who didn't know would think that they were being hunted down. When He too heard this sound, he shook his sword and floated back to where Lin Xian was. At this moment, Lin Xian was still cultivating with his eyes closed. How could Rizalong be hunted down so easily? He too thought for a moment and didn't interrupt Lin Xian. After all, this breakthrough was very important. If he could successfully break the array formation, Lin Xian's strength and cultivation would rise to another level. Therefore, He too didn't have the heart to interrupt. Moreover, in his opinion, the Crimson Dragon was a wily old fox that had lived for thousands of years. He had the bloodline of the Dragon Clan, and even had the Dragon Clan's great skills. He wouldn't be killed so easily. Then let him be hunted down for a while. He too waved his sword and stopped in midair. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon began to eat and drink after sending the message. The 3 immortal palace martial artists also ate and drank. The 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens, holy ground, stood by the side, carefully waiting on him. Not far away, the 9 heavens holy ground experts were fighting against the 4 killing arrays. Among them, one of the killing formations was sent flying, and the remaining 3 killing formations were also dimming. Oh, not bad, not bad. In such a short time, they were able to break one of my killing arrays. These 9 heavens, holy ground people, are not bad. The Crimson Dragon looked at the battlefield in the distance, while eating and nodding slightly. Although he had broken 1 killing array, he wasn't too worried. More and more martial artists gathered in the surrounding passageways. Even the martial artists who were passing by were alarmed by the intense fighting sounds. They thought that someone had found a treasure, so they couldn't wait to rush over. However, after rushing over, they found out that there was no treasure. Instead, there were people fighting to the death. Whoosh! Friends from the 9 heavens, holy ground, do you need our help? More than 10 figures flew over from one of the passageways. Their bodies were surrounded by 5-colored light, forming the 5 elements of metal: wood, water, fire, and earth. The people from the 5 elements palace were here. The surrounding experts exclaimed. The 5 elements saint was among them. That's right, the people from the 5 elements palace were here. Moreover, the 5 elements saint was leading them. When the 5 elements saint saw this, a fierce light flashed in his eyes. He gnashed his teeth in anger at the dark red divine dragon. Now that there was a good opportunity to kill him, how could they miss it? Thank you very much. The 9 heavens, holy ground elders were overjoyed when they saw this. Great! With the help of the 5 elements saint and the 5 elements palace, they would be able to break the killing array faster and faster. At that time, it wouldn't be difficult to break the other party's defensive array. As expected, with the addition of the 5 elements palace's experts, the second killing array was easily broken. I'll help you too. The 10,000 lightning saint led 7 or 8 experts from the 10,000 lightning holy ground and appeared from another passageway. Even the 10,000 lightning saint was here. The surrounding martial artists exclaimed, but the people from the 9 heavens holy ground were excited. Great! The 10,000 lightning saint is here too. Even the heavens are helping me. They knew that the 5 elements palace and the 10,000 lightning holy ground had a grudge against the other immortal palace, especially the palace master, who was suitable for the other side. Now that the 3 sides were working together, how could a small snake resist? When they caught the snake, they would interrogate Lin Xian about his whereabouts and secrets. Chapter 2503. Sure enough, with the 3 holy lands joining forces, the remaining 2 killing arrays shattered. All of a sudden, the 3 forces were like 3 huge mountains, pressing down on the void as they walked towards the Crimson Dragon. F*CK. What's going on? Damn it, the 5 elements crimson and the myriad thunder holy land are here too. The Crimson Dragon could no longer stay calm. He threw away the golden barbecue in his hand and floated up into the sky. Damn it, this is not good. Master Dragon, what should we do? The 3 martial artists from the Immortal Palace were also worried. Previously, they could still fight against the 9 heavens, holy land with their array. But now the myriad thunder holy land and the 5 elements palace were here too. They could not fight back at all. Don't panic. Damn it, these guys dare to come out at this time. Just wait, I won't let them go. The Crimson Dragon would remember this grudge. He swore that he would not let them go. However, this was all in the future. The most important thing now was to solve the crisis in front of them. He could not let them join forces to break the array. Otherwise, his defensive array would not be able to withstand it. It seemed that he could only use that thing. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth and decided to use one of his trump cards. With a wave of his dragon claw, another array floated out. However, this array looked very strange. It was like black quicksand surrounding his defensive array. It formed a black circle. The black circle was more than 10 meters wide. It was like a black river flowing continuously, shining with a strange light. What is this? The surrounding martial artists were stunned. The experts from the 3 holy lands sneered. It's useless. No matter what you are, you can't escape death today. Indeed, they were very confident. With the 3 holy lands joining forces, who could fight back? Even the clan of the ancients would not be able to fight back, right? Not to mention a small, crawling snake. Go! The elders of the 9 heavens holy land, the 5 elements Saint Sun, and the Saint Sun one lay waved their hands, and experts from the 3 holy lands stepped forward. This time they sent 9 people. The 9 experts' auras pierced through heaven and earth. Their figures were like demon gods, crushing the void. One could imagine how terrifying these 9 people were. Their figures were like lightning as they flew forward. The energy in their bodies surged like wild beasts, causing people to tremble. Soon, they arrived before the black quicksand. Facing this black quicksand, they didn't care at all. The 9 of them struck out with their attacks, hitting the quicksand. The quicksand spun rapidly. The black sand was very soft, and it absorbed all the attacks. It could be said that these attacks had no effect on quicksand at all. It was like punching cotton. Damn it, what is this thing? The 9 experts frowned, and 3 of them snorted coldly. The king's domain enveloped them, and in the next moment they stepped into the black quicksand. Since he couldn't break through, he would just force his way through. The others were also puzzled. What exactly was the black quicksand? Soon they were screaming. This was because they had finally discovered the use of the black quicksand. The 3 experts entered the black quicksand, and in the next second they suddenly disappeared. Swish 2 people appeared in the distance of the palace, while the other person disappeared. What was going on? What happened? Why did those experts suddenly withdraw? Everyone around was stunned. The people from the 9 heavens sacred ground, the 5 elements palace, and the 10,000 thunder sacred ground also frowned. What was going on? They hurriedly asked, and the other 2 people flew over from the corner of the palace. I don't know. As soon as we entered, we were teleported away by a force. Teleported away. Could it be a teleportation array? Hearing this, some people turned pale with fright. They looked at the black quicksand and gasped. The black quicksand was actually a teleportation array. Anyone who entered would be teleported. No wonder the dragon was so relaxed and calm. It turned out that he had such a treasure by his side. Yes, if they couldn't break the black quicksand, they wouldn't be able to reach the dragon, let alone break the array. Ha ha! The crimson dragon laughed loudly. Come, 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 sons of the 3 sacred grounds. Hurry up and attack your grandpa dragon. The people from the 3 sacred grounds vomited blood when they heard the clamor. Damn it, this was too damn it. A snake dared to be so arrogant in front of them? He was courting death. Go attack. Since it's an array, we're afraid of being damaged. I don't believe that he can ignore all the attacks. The 5 elements saint's expression was solemn, and 1,000 thunder saints' face was gloomy. The elders from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, also roared. In an instant, the experts from the 3 sacred grounds attacked again. This time, there were more people, more than 20 of them. They were connected as one, as if they were thousands of mountains. Terrifying attacks were launched one after another. The sky was full of flames, shocking lightning, 5-colored light, and a surging sea. All kinds of energy appeared in the sky, and the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The surrounding martial artists all retreated. However, after a series of attacks, the people from the 3 sacred grounds were dumbfounded. Damn it, this was impossible. They didn't receive any damage at all. What kind of array was this? Could it be that all our attacks were teleported back? How could there be such a terrifying array in the world? The people from the 3 sacred grounds were dumbfounded. The crimson dragon snorted coldly. You want to break my worlds and near-at-hand array so easily? You must be dreaming. This array formation was his latest masterpiece. Previously, when he was in the treasury of the Immortal Palace, he had read a lot of information about ancient arrays and combined it with his own knowledge. Finally, he had created such an array. This array was called the Worlds and Near-at-Hand Array. It had the ability to teleport people randomly. After entering, who knew where they would be teleported to? Even the Crimson Dragon didn't know. Seeing that the black quicksand had really blocked the people from the 3 sacred grounds, the 3 martial artists in the array heaved a sigh of relief. The 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, were pale and in despair. The 3 sacred grounds couldn't do anything to this snake. How was this possible? Were they going to be its servants for the rest of their lives? No. They screamed crazily in their hearts. This kind of life was worse than death. However, it was impossible for them to die, because the Crimson Dragon had started to torture the people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, with the 3 martial artists from the Immortal Palace. His purpose was naturally to provoke the experts outside the array. Sure enough, when the 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, were stepped on and slapped, the experts outside were so angry that they vomited blood. Ah, damn it. I'll definitely kill you all. Let go of our people. They were about to go crazy. This was a slap in the face. The 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder sacred ground were also roaring, but they didn't feel any psychological pressure, because there was no one among the lackeys. But was there really no one? Chapter 2504. The Crimson Dragon looked at the 2 holy lands and sneered. Originally, he didn't plan to attack the 2 of you. However, the 2 of you didn't know what was good for you and dared to jump out and oppose Ben Huang. Then don't blame me. 9 big lackeys, get over here. This voice was like a clap of thunder, spreading in all directions. Whoosh! Whoosh! 9 figures flew over from the distant passageway. As soon as these 9 people appeared, they half knelt in the void. Greetings, Master. What? Seeing this scene, the surrounding people went crazy. The faces of the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder sacred land instantly sank. Their faces were as black as the bottom of a pot, as they realized that 7 of the 9 lackeys were actually from the 5 Elements Palace and the myriad Thunder sacred land. The remaining 2 were from the Tai dynasty. 9 lackeys, I order you to slap each other, the harder the better. If I go soft on you, don't blame me for being impolite, the Crimson Dragon ordered. Hearing this, the people in the distance felt their scalps go numb. As for the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land, they roared furiously. They were really mad. Previously, when they saw the people from the 9 heavens, holy ground, being slapped in the face, they did not feel anything. But who would have thought that it would be their turn so soon? Not only were the 9 lackeys in the hands of the Crimson Dragon, but their souls had also been implanted with slave imprints. Therefore, at this moment, although they were instinctively unwilling, once the Crimson Dragon activated this kind of mark, they simply could not control themselves and began to interact with each other. The crisp sound of a slap rang out, shaking the heavens and splitting the earth. Those people's faces were shattered in an instant, but they were all experts and could recover instantly. Thus, in an instant, countless slaps were heard. The Crimson Dragon raised his wine glass and said to the people in all directions, "Come, come, come. Today, Ben Huang invites everyone to watch a show. It's free. You don't have to be afraid. Just enjoy it." Heavens, what happened? What was wrong with these people from the Holy Lands? Was he caught in an illusion? This crawling snake was too heaven-defying, using the people of the Holy Land as lackeys. He even slapped him in the face in public. This was the same as taking the lives of those holy lands. That's right, if they couldn't kill this snake, they would really lose all their face. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it even if you beat me to death. F***CK. Even if I saw it with my own eyes, I still wouldn't believe it. The other warriors in the passageway were stunned. The people of the Five Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land were furious. The two saints, in particular, were brimming with killing intent. "Attack! Capture them for me!" Hearing this, the two elders of the Five Elements Palace took action. They stretched out their hands, and countless rays of light flashed in their palms, instantly enveloping those people. The people from the 10,000 Lightning Holy Land were the same. They had to capture him. Otherwise, they would be utterly humiliated. The dark red divine dragon sneered at the sight of this. "You want to take him back? Do you think that's possible? Attack him! Kill them all!" He formed another seal, and the seals in those people's minds trembled. "Roar! Kill!" Those people roared out angrily, their eyes completely red. They didn't recognize anyone, directly attacking the large hand in the sky. In an instant, he had destroyed their attacks. Furthermore, they were charging toward the Five Elements Palace and the 10,000 Lightning Holy Land. "Humph!" The Five Elements Saint snorted, and a cold, murderous intent appeared in his eyes. "Buzz!" He rushed out of the Five Elements Mountain and blasted it forward. With a loud boom, the three figures in front of him were instantly blasted into a bloody mist. Nothing was left. They were directly killed, the surrounding people exclaimed, and the people of the Five Elements Palace were stunned. They didn't expect their saint to be so decisive and ruthless. They had killed all of their own people. They were already under his control, and they were no longer his own people. The Five Elements Saint's cold voice rang out, and everyone felt their scalps go numb. On the other side, the 10,000 Thunder Saint also attacked. An ice thunder divine spear pierced through the air, nailing the people who came in. In an instant, the 9 lackeys were mercilessly killed by the two saints. Blood rained down from the sky. When the people of the Immortal Palace saw this, they were extremely shocked. The Crimson Dragon also frowned. He sneered. How shameless! They even killed their own people. To be honest, he didn't expect the two saints to be so ruthless. When the people of the 9 heavens holy ground saw this, a hint of madness appeared in their eyes. Among them, a few elders discussed and decided to attack. Those people probably wouldn't be able to survive. Otherwise, they might be able to use them to blast open the array. A few elders nodded. In the next moment, they suddenly formed seals, and a strange aura exuded from their bodies. Not good. The Crimson Dragon's face changed. F*CK. You guys are too shameless. He roared and completely distanced himself from the 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens holy ground. At the same time, his body expanded and turned into a giant dragon, enveloping the 3 martial artists of the Immortal Palace. Boom! 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 The 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens holy ground suddenly exploded, and a violent energy swept out. Everything was annihilated. The light shone brightly, and the energy surged. What happened? The surrounding people were stunned. They didn't expect the 5 lackeys of the 9 heavens holy ground to suddenly explode. What was going on? Could it be that the people of the 9 heavens holy ground had attacked? They looked at the sky. Sure enough, the elders of the 9 heavens holy ground looked extremely cold. There was still a fierce aura left on them. It was indeed them who had attacked. It seemed that the 9 heavens holy ground was also ruthless. The people of the 5 Elements Palace and the 1,000 Thunder holy ground were overjoyed. This is great. This energy will definitely be able to tear open the array. It might even be able to kill the snake. Everyone's gaze shifted to the front. There were indeed countless cracks on the defensive array in front of them. Some parts were even directly broken, and a few black holes appeared. This is great. The array is broken. I wonder how the snake is doing? They looked over. However, at this moment, a scream came from within the light. F*CK. It hurts. Who the F*CK did it? Don't let Ben Huang catch you, or I'll kill you. The scream made everyone's scalp tingle. What? That guy is not dead. However, judging by the scream, even if he is not dead, he is half dead. The people of the 9 heavens, holy ground, sneered. Great. As long as they can injure the other party, it will be much easier to capture him. However, when the light that filled the sky disappeared, they were dumbfounded. What happened? Impossible. The other party is not injured at all. How is this possible? They were all crazy, because they found that the other party's body was black, as if he was struck by lightning. However, there were no cracks on the other party's body, and there was no blood flowing. The other party was not injured. Damn it! What kind of physique is this? Even the holy son of the Demon King Palace did not have such a physique, right? They were all crazy. They didn't expect a snake's physique to be so strong. Chapter 2505. The people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, went crazy. They did not expect a snake's body to be so strong. The crimson dragon grimaced in pain. Although it didn't split open, the pain was very obvious. He stared at the 9 heavens, sacred ground. Damn it, I will roast you all later. Humph. You don't even have an array, and you still dare to be arrogant? The 5 elements, Saint sneered. Kill. Countless people charged forward. However, although the defensive array was broken, the world's end near at hand array was still intact. This made everyone frown again. Don't worry, we also have an array master on the way. The people from the 5 elements palace and the myriad thunder, sacred ground spoke. Hearing this, the people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground's eyes lit up. They already had an array master in their team. However, it would take a lot of time to break the array. But now, the other 2 sacred grounds had also sent array masters. With the 3 of them working together, they did not believe that they could not break it. Moreover, this array was too coveted. If they could master it, it would definitely be a heaven-defying defensive method. Sure enough, after waiting for half a day, a figure appeared in the passage. The array masters from the 5 elements palace and the myriad thunder sacred ground had arrived. For white-haired old men walked over shakily. They looked at the black quicksand in the sky, and their eyes lit up. On the 9 heavens, sacred ground side, an array master also walked out. The 5 array masters came forward together, ready to break it. Heavens, this is a teleportation. How did this snake do it? It's too exquisite. It's definitely not made by him. I think he must have gotten a treasure in this ancient tomb. The 5 array grandmasters said. They did not think that the black quicksand was made by the snake. Moreover, it did not matter whether it was made or not. They would work together to break it. With the 5 array masters working together, they were indeed very powerful. The Crimson Dragon and the 3 members of the Immortal Palace were in danger again. One could imagine that once the world's end near at hand array was broken, what awaited them would be the merciless slaughter of the 3 sacred grounds. Shout, Schwanzi, where the hell are you? Come quickly. The Crimson Dragon took out the array disc again and sent a message. Black Earth. Lin Xian opened his eyes, and a vast aura erupted from his body, like 100,000 volcanoes erupting at the same time. Violent energy blasted out in all directions. Fortunately, he was now in the cultivation room of the Black Earth, so he didn't cause any impact to the interior of the ship. Middle stage 7 star. Lin Xian stood up and clenched his fists. His eyes shone with a sharp light. He was too excited. You've broken through. The black soil floated in. Lin Xian grinned and asked, How many days has it been? 7 days. 7 days. Lin Xian took a deep breath, his heart filled with excitement. In just 7 days, he had advanced from early 7 star to middle 7 star. No one would believe him if he told others about it. One had to know that under normal circumstances, it would take 100 to 200 years for a king realm cultivator to break through from primary to intermediate king realm. As for him, he only needed 7 days. And it was done. This was absolutely heaven-defying. Of course, all of this was due to the ancient medicinal pill. What surprised him even more was that not only did he break through, but the great dragon sword soul had also awakened further. Now his combat power was equivalent to a mid-8-star peerless almighty. If the great dragon sword soul went all out and displayed its maximum combat power, he could compete with a late 8-star peerless almighty. This didn't include his trump cards like the Black Earth and the Saint's Hand Bone. If he used those trump cards, he could even kill a late 8-star almighty. This filled Lin Xian with confidence. According to his estimation, he had only explored half of the saint's ancient tomb. There should be more heaven-defying treasures in the latter half. By the way, there shouldn't be anything happening these few days, right? Lin Xian asked. Ruzalong sent 2 distress signals, but I saw that you were cultivating, so I didn't interrupt you. Distress signals? Lin Xian frowned. What's going on? Listen to it. Hey, 2 took the disc array over, and Lin Xian listened to it. It was indeed sent by Ruzalong. He frowned. He knew the strength of the Crimson Dragon. It was at the level of a saint. Even the other saints wouldn't be able to do anything to it. But now, it actually sent a distress signal. This meant that it was definitely in danger. When he heard the second message, he understood what was going on. The Myriad Thunder Sacred Ground, 5 Elements Palace, and 9 Heavens Sacred Ground were really courting death. Hey, 2, use the array to lock onto Ruzalong's position and fly over. No problem, leave it to me. Hey, 2 began to control it. Soon, the Black Earth flew over like a stream of light. On the other side, in the main hall, the world's end near at hand array had become dim. Under the joint efforts of the 5 top array masters, it was gradually being suppressed. F***CK. It's been 5 or 6 days. Why isn't Lin Xian here yet? Could there have been an accident? The Crimson Dragon looked at the surrounding scene with a gloomy face. Because Lin Xian wasn't here, he was in trouble. He estimated that his world's end near at hand array could only last for 2 or 3 days. After 2 or 3 days, it might be broken by the other party. When the army came, it would be difficult for him to deal with it. Even if he could escape, he would be seriously injured. This wasn't what he wanted. Another day passed. The 5 array masters were excited because they felt that one day they would be able to break it. The people of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground, 5 Elements Palace, and 1,000 Thunder Sacred Ground were also excited. Their eyes shone with a sharp light. Crawling snake, prepare to die. The people of 5 Elements Palace sneered. The people of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground gritted their teeth. However, at this moment, 7 or 8 rays of light came from afar. These 7 or 8 rays of light were very fast. There was a floating immortal palace above them, shining down thousands of rays of light. The people of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground were here. Could those immortal palaces be the saint of the 9 Heavens? Sure enough, this scene made the experts of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground all turn their heads. Buzz! Their eyes shone with a piercing light as they went up to greet them. How is it? Have you found the saint? They asked anxiously. However, the 7 or 8 people who came had ugly expressions. Some of the elders even wailed. Ah, we are guilty. The saint has been killed. What? The saint has been killed? How is this possible? Didn't they say that the immortal palace took him away after he was struck? This news was like a bolt from the blue, and it stunned the experts of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground. The 5 Elements Palace, 1,000 Thunder Sacred Ground, and the surrounding experts were all stunned, especially the 5 Elements Saint and 1,000 Thunder Saint. Their expressions were ugly. They were holy sons themselves, so they knew how difficult it was to kill a holy son. But now, the saint of the 9 Heavens had been killed. What was going on? Was the saint of the 9 Heavens really killed? By who? Could it be Lin Xian? In the distance, the 5 array masters also stopped what they were doing and frowned. The Crimson Dragon laughed loudly. Ha ha! I'm dying of laughter. Who asked you to be so arrogant and find trouble with Ben Huang? How is it? The saint has been struck by someone. He was too happy. He was annoyed that he had been trapped here for the past few days. Now that he heard the news, it was as if he had eaten an iced watermelon on a hot summer day. The eyelids of the 3 Immortal Palace's martial artists twitched wildly. Could it be that the temple master had made a move? They had also heard that their temple master had struck the other party with a sword. Chapter 2506. Damn it! Is it Lin Xian? The elders of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, roared crazily. Their eyes were red, and their bodies were filled with killing intent as if they had turned into demons. This news was too much for them to accept. Impossible! This is impossible! Among them, an elder in a white robe roared. Ah, damn it! Another elder went crazy. No, I believe. A few elders cried, and their tears turned into blood rain, falling in the air. Not good. Retreat. The faces of the surrounding martial artists all changed. That was because they felt a shocking killing intent coming from the front. Puff! Puff! Those who were slow in running were directly blasted away. Many of them were pierced by the killing intent. Defend! Even the people of the 5 Elements Palace and the 1,000 Thunder sacred ground on the side were holding up their domains and armors as they retreated. They realized that the people of the 9 heavens sacred ground had really gone crazy. Kill! 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 Those experts' killing intent pierced through the sky. With the Immortal Palace, how could he be killed? An elder questioned. This Immortal Palace was a supreme treasure. However, the 7 or 8 experts who rushed over-gritted their teeth. We don't know. When they arrived, only the Immortal Palace was left. The 9 heaven saint's storage ring was gone, and all the treasures on his body had been plundered. His body was split in half, and his soul was completely destroyed. He couldn't live at all. As for the murderer, we don't know. These elders' faces were also incomparably ugly. If this news were to spread back to the sacred ground, it would definitely be a huge shock. One had to know that the sacred ground had spent a lot to cultivate a saint. But now he had fallen in this ancient tomb. This was definitely a huge earthquake. Find the murderer. We must find the murderer. Cut him into pieces. Otherwise, we won't be able to answer to the sacred ground. These elders had really gone crazy. Among them, many turned their heads and stared at the crimson dragon. It's them. It must be the people of the Immortal Palace. Kill this snake. Kill that Lin Xian. Kill everyone from the Immortal Palace. Avenge our saint. F***CK, what nonsense are you spouting? The dark red divine dragon was shocked. Which F***king I did you see us do it? Killing the Holy Sun was also a big deal, and the Crimson Dragon was unwilling to admit it. It's you. No matter what, Lin Xian must die. If it were not for him, the Holy Sun would not have been injured, and no one would have dared to attack the Holy Sun. Therefore, the main culprit was still Lin Xian. Kill! These people roared crazily and attacked like crazy. However, due to the presence of the world's end near-at-hand formation, those attacks were all teleported away. However, these people had gone crazy. Dozens of 9 heavens, holy ground, cultivators attacked without any regard for their lives. There were even people who directly entered the world's and near-at-hand array. At this moment, 2 attacks were sent towards the Crimson Dragon. One of them was even sent in. Ha 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 ha. This is great. This was a random teleportation. As long as we try a few more times, we will definitely be able to enter. That elder roared madly. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he mercilessly struck out with his palm. Damn snake, go to hell. They had gone crazy. They could not accept the fact that their holy son had been killed. Therefore, they vented all their anger and killing intent on the Crimson Dragon. This scene stunned all the surrounding martialists. Even the Crimson Dragon did not expect that the other party could be teleported to him randomly. The probability was too small. The person who was teleported was an elder. He was a peerless almighty. At this moment, his body was filled with killing intent that pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. That piercing aura seemed to be able to destroy the entire world. Feeling this killing intent, the surrounding cultivators felt their scalps go numb. Sure enough, these people from the 9 heavens, holy ground, were going crazy. How could an ordinary, peerless almighty release such a terrifying killing intent? Boundless light surged, and a violent energy was about to swallow the Crimson Dragon and the 3 Immortal Palace cultivators. The 3 Immortal Palace cultivators felt their scalps go numb. They thought that they were young geniuses, but under such a terrifying killing intent, they did not have any strength to fight back. They felt the void around them freeze, and the energy in their bodies was also frozen. They could not resist at all. Roar! The Crimson Dragon roared, and the dragon's roar turned into a sound wave that surged forward to fight back. The heavens fell, and the earth cracked. At the same time, he swung his dragon tail, and a red river slashed out like a heavenly blade. Bang! Bang! Earth-shattering sounds were heard, and the 2 forces of energy dissipated in the sky at the same time. Seeing this, the surrounding crowd was in an uproar. The people from the 9 heavens holy ground were stunned, and so were the people from the 5 elements palace and the myriad thunder holy ground. The elder of the 9 heavens holy ground had gone crazy and launched a shocking attack, but he still could not do anything to the other party. One had to admit that the other party was too strong. Its strength was probably not comparable to these saints and elders. Damn it, what kind of species is this? A variant of the heavens and earth? The myriad thunder saint's face was gloomy, and the 5 elements saint's eyes were like divine lamps. It seemed like it was indeed a variant of the heavens and earth. Thinking about it, it must have some kind of powerful flood dragon bloodline. Otherwise, his physique would not be so strong. So what if he has the flood dragon bloodline? Today he has provoked us, so he must die. Ah, go to hell. Just as the 2 saints were talking, the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground and the Crimson Dragon were still exchanging close to 100 blows, and the surrounding area was shattered. There was not a single spot in the entire hall that was intact. Damn it, did they really think that Ben Huang was a pushover? The Crimson Dragon was also angry. It waved its dragon claws and formed 2 arrays, which overlapped and protected the 3 martial artists from the Immortal Palace. At the same time, its body swayed, and it turned into a giant dragon, roaring and attacking. The Dragon Clan's grand super skill was activated, and countless red lights in the sky were like red swords, resisting the attack. After another 300 blows, the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground screamed as half of his body was smashed by the Crimson Dragon's claw. Blood mist filled the air, and the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground screamed. He entered the black quicksand and was sent out. He did not appear in the main hall, and no one knew where he was. But soon a roar came from afar. The elder with half of his body came out from a passage, and the half of his body had already recovered. His face was incomparably pale. Damn it! The elder roared crazily. He did not expect that with his strength and the 9 heavens holy ground's grand super skill, he would not be able to defeat the other party. In the distance, the people of the 5 elements palace and the myriad thunder saints' eyes lit up. They had finally found a way to kill the other party. Hurry! Everyone, get into the black quicksand. Although it was a random teleportation, there was still a certain probability of being teleported to the other party's side. As long as they were near the other party, they would immediately kill them. They would use all their trump cards. Chapter 2507. He had to use all of his trump cards. The 5 elements saint and the myriad thunder saint gave the order. The elder of the 9 heavens sacred ground roared, and everyone from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, rushed over. On the other side, the people of the 5 elements palace and the myriad thunder, sacred ground, also rushed over. They were continuously transported by the black quicksand. However, after many attempts, 3 of the Almighties finally arrived near the dark red divine dragon. Not good. Lord Dragon, be careful. In the array behind, the 3 martial artists from the immortal palace were scared out of their wits when they saw this scene. If the 3 of them worked together, they would probably be able to kill even the saint. Therefore, at this moment, the Crimson Dragon was in absolute danger. Sure enough, the Crimson Dragon was pushed back as soon as they exchanged blows. F***CK. Ben Huang is in so much pain. The Crimson Dragon rolled in the sky and bared his teeth. His eyes were glowing red, and his body was emitting a murderous aura. With a swing of his tail, the 3 martial artists from the immortal palace were sent into the black quicksand. At the same time, he said, "Hurry up and leave. Teleport out. Don't stay here." The 3 martial artists from the immortal palace entered the black quicksand and were completely teleported out, disappearing from the main hall. Seeing this scene, the martial artists from the 3 holy lands roared, "Damn it! Don't let me be teleported too." They shot out layers of light, and the 3 king domains floated in the air, completely sealing the space where the Crimson Dragon was. Damn it! Do you really think that Ben Huang can't do anything to you? Seeing the 3 of them glaring at him, the Crimson Dragon was also angry. He was from the dragon race, and when had he been beaten up like this? In the next moment, he spat out a mouthful of dragon blood. The dragon blood turned into a sharp sword and flew out instantly. Poof! An elder of the 5 elements palace screamed. His body was pierced, and a terrifying bloody hole appeared. His internal organs were all shattered. However, this elder was still a peerless expert. Although the injury was serious, it wasn't fatal. Whoosh! The elder of the 5 elements palace retreated. The power of the 5 elements palace rolled in his body, and his internal organs were instantly regenerated. However, his face was extremely pale, and his eyes were filled with fear. Damn it! Be careful! This guy was too strange. The surrounding martial artists were also stunned. A mouthful of blood was enough to severely injure a peerless almighty. Heavens, what kind of blood is this? Is it divine blood? The other 2 almighties wore solemn expressions. They shot out countless beams of light. Among them, the almighty from the 9 heavens, holy ground, shot out a pagoda with 9 floors. The Crimson Dragon floated in the sky and shrouded it in radiance. The old man from the 10,000 thunder holy land was wearing a thunder battle robe. Terrifying thunder and lightning covered the entire sky. The elder of the 5 elements palace took out a large amount of elixirs and swallowed them. His pale complexion also became rosy. Boom! A 5-colored cauldron rushed out of his body and floated in front of him. Then he attacked again. The 3 experts besieged the Crimson Dragon again. For a moment, the Crimson Dragon was in danger. Even though he was from the Dragon Clan, even though he was an old monster, he was still forced to retreat. However, this was already shocking, because an ordinary peerless almighty would probably be killed very quickly if he was surrounded by 3 experts of the same level. However, the Crimson Dragon had persisted for so long without being killed. It had to be said that it was indeed shocking. However, everyone knew that it was only a matter of time before he was killed, unless reinforcements arrived. However, would the people from the immortal palace really come? It had been so many days, but they had not come. Perhaps they did not even know what had happened here. Damn snake, go to hell! The elder of the 9 heavens, holy land, roared. The 9-story pagoda above his head turned into a towering mountain and pressed down. On the other side, the elder of the 10,000 thunder holy land formed streaks of tribulation, lightning, and struck down. The powerhouse of the 5 elements palace activated the 5-colored cauldron and directly smashed through the void. He wanted to suck the crimson dragon into the cauldron. The crimson dragon could not dodge the 3 peerless attacks at all. He roared and sent the 5-colored cauldron flying. At the same time, he relied on his strong body to resist the lightning that filled the sky. However, he could not resist the last 9 stories of the pagoda. It was about to envelop him. Go to hell, snake! Seeing this, the elder of the 9 heavens, Holy Land, turned serious. The surrounding powerhouses of the 9 heavens, Holy Land, laughed wildly. There was a crimson light in their eyes, and they looked like demons. At this moment, a sword light appeared and directly struck the 9-story pagoda. With a clang, the 9-story pagoda was sent flying. What? It was blocked! The surrounding martial artists exclaimed. Old Zhang of the 9 heavens, Holy Land, even took a few steps back. He stopped and shouted coldly, "Who is it? How dare you interfere in my business? Get over here and die." He was really crazy. How dare someone interfere in the current situation? Who is so reckless? Humph, I think you should be the one getting over here and die. A cold voice sounded. The void split open, and a young figure descended. What, damn brat! It's you! Seeing this, the elder of the 9 heavens, Holy Land, was stunned. 5 elements palace, myriad thunder, Holy Land, and the surrounding martial artists all looked over. In the next moment, they were all stunned. Lin Xian! It's you! Ha 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 ha, brat! I wanted to kill you. I didn't expect you to take the initiative to come to me. The elder of 5 elements palace laughed loudly. The people of myriad thunder, Holy Land, snorted coldly. Seems like you don't want to take the road to heaven. Since you're here today, don't even think about leaving. Brat, I'll tear you to pieces. The people of the 9 heavens, Holy Land, were even more murderous. The 4 powerhouses in the sky descended from the sky and surrounded Lin Xian. To be honest, they were too excited. They did not expect the murderer of their holy son to be here. Below, the crimson dragon saw Lin Xian and heaved a sigh of relief. He quickly took out some treasures and swallowed them. At the same time, his body swayed and he appeared in the sky. Brat, be careful. These guys from the 9 heavens, Holy Land, are crazy. Their holy son was killed by someone, and now they suspect you? Killed. Yes, I did kill him with my sword. Lin Xian admitted directly. Hearing this, the surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. The crimson dragon explained. No, after you killed him, someone else killed him. This time his body and soul were destroyed. Someone else killed him. Hearing this, Lin Xian was stunned. He did not expect so many things to happen while he was cultivating in seclusion. The 9 heavens' holy son was killed. A holy son was killed just like that. This was indeed a big deal. No wonder the people of the 9 heavens, Holy Land, were so crazy. However, what did this have to do with him? Humph, this 9 heavens' holy son is really unlucky. Lin Xian sneered. Hearing this, the people of the 9 heavens, Holy Land, were so angry that they vomited blood. Chapter 2508. Ah! The elders screamed. Damn brat, don't try to deny it. You killed our holy son. Today we must kill you. We will use your blood to pay tribute to our holy son. We must catch you, pull out your tendons and skin you alive, and send you to the 18 levels of hell. You will not be able to escape. Kill him. Avenge our holy son. The martial artists of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, roared. The people of the 5 elements palace and the myriad thunder, sacred ground, also gathered around. Brat, looks like you are going to die today. I don't know what kind of grudge you have with the 9 heavens, holy son, for you to kill him like this. The 5 elements saint said coldly. The myriad thunder saint sneered. Yeah, can't we talk it out? Why must you kill him? The two of them were very sinister. Although they did not know who did it, they had already identified Lin Xian as the murderer. This way, they could kill this person together with the 9 heavens, sacred ground. F***CK. You two are so shameless. Which eye of yours saw us do it? The crimson dragon cursed. These 2 holy sons are too sinister. He wished he could cook them and eat them. Lin Xian's face also darkened. He stared coldly at the 5 elements saint and the myriad thunder saint. Let me say it again. I did not kill the 9 heavens, holy son, but the 2 of you might be killed by me on the spot. Lin Xian indeed wanted to kill the 5 element saint and the myriad thunder saint. These 2 had gone against him time and time again. Did they really think he would not kill them? Don't try to deny it. You killed him. Admit your guilt. The myriad thunder saint and the 5 elements saint sneered. Brat, go to hell. The elders of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, roared. Dozens of them attacked together. The sky was filled with light and exploded in front of them. There were so many experts. No one among the Almighties could stand up to them, let alone the holy sons. Lin Xian didn't take it head-on. His body flashed as he used demigods and semi-devils to dodge in the sky. After the breakthrough, his speed had increased tremendously compared to before, coupled with the heaven-defying speed of the demigods and semi-devils. He was able to move faster than before. For a moment, his figure was erratic and his speed was beyond the imagination of these people. What incredible speed! The surrounding martial artists exclaimed. They discovered that such a violent power actually didn't hit the other party and allowed him to escape. 5 elements seal. Thunder purgatory. The 5 elements Saint Sun and the myriad thunder Saint Sun used 2 sealing mystic abilities to completely seal the entire hull. They would never allow him to escape. So what if you did? I don't believe that you can hide forever. The 2 holy princes sneered. The people of the 9 heavens, holy ground, roared in anger. Their gazes were like heavenly blades that pierced through all directions. Over there. Soon, they locked onto Lin Xian again. Brat, you have to pay with your life for killing my holy son. This time, I will definitely not let you leave alive. Lin Xian was infuriated. He sneered. You said I killed him? Good. Then I'll take it that I killed him. So what if I killed him? Speaking of this, an extremely violent aura erupted from his body. It was like a storm that swept in all directions. As soon as this aura appeared, the surrounding people trembled, and a look of horror appeared in their eyes. What a terrifying aura! How could this brat be so strong? The 5 elements Saint Sun and the myriad thunder Saint Sun were even more shocked. Impossible! How could his aura be so strong again? The 2 of them were really crazy because they realized that the other party's aura was on par with theirs before. But now, the other party's aura had surpassed theirs. How could this be? Damn it! Where did this brat go when he disappeared? Could it be that he had a fortuitous encounter? Exclamations rang out one after another. The Crimson Dragon also exclaimed, Brat, you broke through? Lin Xian nodded. He pulled out the ancient Dragon Abyss sword and pointed it forward. You won't let me go? You killed my immortal palace's disciples and trapped my companions. Now you want to kill me? Do you think I will let you go? Come on, who wants to die first? His cold voice was accompanied by countless rays of sword light. At this moment, he was like a sword god that everyone looked up to. Humph! So what if you've become stronger? We have so many people. It's easy to kill you. The 5 elements Saint Sun said coldly. The myriad thunder Saint Sun also gritted his teeth. Damn it, the other party had broken through in such a short time. It really made them jealous. Kill! The martial artists of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, were even crazier. Indeed, so what if he had become stronger? They had so many people. Why would they be afraid of him? Swoosh! Swoosh! Several elders of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, charged forward. Boom! A big bright palm covered the sky like countless clouds. It carried a supreme divine power and slammed down from the sky. As soon as this power came out, the surrounding people's scalps went numb. It was too violent. The four elders were enough to destroy everything. Probably no one present could contend against them. Buzz. Looking at this terrifying attack, Lin Xian's eyes emitted two rays of sharp light. The sword qi on his body shone brighter and brighter, constantly rising. Swoosh! His body was like a flickering shadow, quickly dodging the sharp palm. At the same time, he appeared in another space. Whoosh! The ancient dragon abyss sword was swung, as if a giant dragon was roaring. Boom! This sword light enveloped one of the elders. A scream was heard, and blood spurted out. The elder who was enveloped by the sword light was cut in half. However, he did not die immediately. His miserable scream reverberated, and his internal organs and blood stained the void red. What cut in half with a sword? Another sword strike. The surrounding people were stunned. That elder was a peerless almighty. He was extremely powerful. However, he was cut in half by the other party's sword. The eyes of the martial artists of the Five Elements Palace and the Myriad Thunder Sacred Ground twitched wildly. The people of the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground screamed. This was impossible. How could he be so powerful? That was not the other party's trump card. That was just a casual sword light that split one of their elders in half. No, they could not believe it. In the battlefield, the other three elders of the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground were also facing a formidable enemy, and they quickly retreated. They came to the side of the elder who was cut in half, wanting to save him first. Buzz! A golden rune appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. The next moment, the elder who was cut in half screamed again. His body, which was originally healed, kept rolling in the sky. His aged face was contorted in a twisted manner. Not good, a soul attack. The expressions of the remaining three elders changed. Such a strange method. Perhaps only a soul attack could do it. Damn it. Save him. They struck out with unparalleled magical power and poured it into the old man's body, wanting to save him. However, the elder's neck tilted, and he was no longer breathing. Dead. A peerless almighty was killed just like that. Everyone was stunned. What kind of method was this? This was too heaven-defying. What kind of strength had the other party reached? Chapter 2509. Damn it! How is this kid so strong? This scene made the faces of the Five Element Saint and the Myriad Thunder Saint turn dark. Their hearts raced. The one who was killed was an 8-star saint. Even they would have to put in a lot of effort to kill him. However, his opponent had effortlessly killed him with 2 moves. Such means were shocking. Damn it! Xiao Xuanzi, you're amazing! Behind them, the dark red divine dragon cried out in surprise when it saw this scene. But soon he laughed wildly. Ha 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 ha! Awesome! This is awesome! Who asked you to be so arrogant? Damn it! Kill them all! A strange voice sounded in the sky. Everyone was silent, completely stunned. The people of the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground were even more shocked. Soon they reacted. Damn it! This kid is too strong. Attack together. Don't give him a chance. Attack together? Do you think you can keep up with my speed? Lin Xian's body kept changing positions in the sky. Every time he appeared, these people would exclaim. He was too fast. Their souls could not keep up. How could they fight him? If the other party kept moving at high speed, they would not even be able to touch the corner of his clothes. At this moment, the people of the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground were extremely sullen. They had thought that they could avenge their saint today, but they did not expect the situation to turn out like this. The people of the Five Elements Palace and the Myriad Thunder Sacred Ground were also solemn. However, they did not retreat, because they felt that the other party was too terrifying. They had to kill him today. Otherwise, if the other party continued to grow, He would become a great enemy of the three sacred grounds. Everyone, don't hold back anymore. If you have any trump cards, use them all. The five elements saint said coldly. The aura on his body also burst out quickly. A five elements mountain appeared above his head. Today he would die without a doubt. The myriad thunder saint took a step forward, forming a purple sea of lightning around his body. Used the heavenly palace. The few elders of the nine heavens, holy ground, retreated one after another. They gathered together and struck out a series of hand seals. Whoosh! The heavenly palace that originally belonged to the nine heavens saint floated in the sky, emitting thousands of rays of light. It was as if the palace had really fallen from the celestial realm. A shocking force burst out from his body. Everyone watching felt their scalps go numb. What the hell is this? Wasn't this the nine firmament saint sun's divine ability? No, the nine firmament saint sun was already dead, but the immortal palace was still here. This was not the nine firmaments saint sun's divine ability. This must be one of the treasures of the nine heavens, holy ground. Precious treasure? Are you saying that the ninth firmament saint possessed an extremely terrifying weapon and was killed by someone? Heavens, who is it that did it? No wonder the people from the nine heavens, holy ground, didn't believe him. The surrounding people exclaimed and discussed animatedly. There were all sorts of speculations in their hearts. The people of the nine heavens, holy ground, were indeed aggrieved. The immortal palace in their hands was a precious treasure of the Holy Land. It could be said to be incomparably terrifying. Even if the saint of the nine firmaments encountered an extremely terrifying enemy, no one below the level of an invincible king would be able to break out of the immortal palace. However, why had their holy son been killed? They simply couldn't understand. In the sky, immortal light blossomed with incomparable radiance as the mysterious door slowly opened. A terrifying aura was emitted from his body. Feeling this aura, everyone's expression changed and they kept retreating. It was too terrifying. This aura could kill everyone. Lin Xian's expression was also solemn. He never dared to be careless when facing the immortal palace. His body swayed and the dragon's sword realm appeared beside him, wrapping him up and turning into the shadow of an azure dragon. However, at this time, the five elements red and the thousand thunder holy land's trump cards were also displayed. His sword light that filled the sky dimmed. Seeing this, Lin Xian snorted coldly. Competing with trump cards? Do you think you're the only ones with trump cards? Buzz. Boom. A golden light appeared in the sky, and a white bone floated in the air. An extremely violent aura swept out in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. The immortal palace trembled, and the five elements mountain shook. The lightning in the sky dimmed. The entire sky couldn't bear it at all, and countless cracks appeared. The surrounding martial artists spat out blood and were sent flying. Damn it! What is this thing? They were going crazy. A small bone in the sky could emit such an aura. Did it have to be so terrifying? A saint. This is a saint's item. Damn it, he actually has such an item. The elders of the five elements palace screamed, and the people of the thousand thunder holy land felt their scalps go numb. The people of the nine heavens holy land were even more shocked. How could they resist a saint's item? Everyone, don't panic. He's just a small almighty. How could he fully unleash the power of a saint? If he unleashed it, he would probably be destroyed in both body and soul. Therefore, although the saint's bone was powerful, it wasn't impossible to resist. The five elements, saint said coldly. Hearing this, everyone quieted down. Indeed, so what if it was a saint's item? If it couldn't unleash its full power, it would still be useless. Although they didn't have a saint's item, they could still unleash the full power of their trump cards. In this way, it wasn't impossible to resist the saint's bone. As expected, the three holy lands trump cards in the sky blocked the saint's aura. Seeing this, the people of the three holy lands heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian sneered. This scene was completely within his plan. What he wanted to do was to block these people's trump cards. As for killing these people, he would do it himself. Lin Xian's figure flickered as he charged over like a flickering shadow. The dragon's sword realm above his head covered the entire sky. Thousands of sword chi flew out like a rain of swords, enveloping everyone in front of him, courting death. These people were enraged. Lin Xian dared to challenge the elites of the 3 holy lands alone. Too arrogant, they fought back crazily. Behind them, the Crimson Dragon also charged forward. He opened his mouth and spat out 7 to 8 killing arrays. At the same time, he swung his tail and rushed into the crowd to kill. Whoosh! A dragon flame spewed out, and many people screamed. The Crimson Dragon was like an old monster, sweeping across the sky. He had been too aggrieved before. Now that he had seized this opportunity, how could he not fight back? In an instant, a great battle broke out in the sky. Whoosh! Lin Xian appeared near the 9 heavens, holy land in an instant. He slashed out with the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand. Pung pung pung! Clang! The sound of an intense collision rang out. Those 9 heavens, holy land martial artists fought back. In the end, their weapons were instantly cut into pieces. Damn it! Not good. Heaven-class treasure. These people's scalps went numb as they frantically retreated. So what if it's a heaven-class treasure? I have one too. An elder roared. He held a long spear in his hand and charged forward. With a clang, the spear collided with the ancient dragon abyss sword, and a bright light burst out. Heaven and earth shook, and many people were sent flying. Kid, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you have a heaven-class treasure. The elder held a long spear in his hand, and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. Chapter 2510. Kid, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you have a heaven-grade artifact. The old man held a long spear in his hand, and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. Let's see if your heaven-grade spear or my sword is more powerful. Lin Xian instantly unlocked the 3 seals on the ancient sword. An incomparably violent sword chi slashed out. 1 slash, 2 slashes, 3 slashes. The elder's arm went numb, and his long spear was sent flying. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Both of his arms were completely shattered, turning into a bloody mist. Damn it! How could his strength be so strong? The light on the elder's body soared into the sky, and he frantically retreated with his heaven-grade spear. Want to leave? Not so easy. Didn't you want to kill me? Come, I'll give you a chance. Lin Xian turned into a sword light and chased after him. Damn it! Seeing the scene, the injured elder's scalp went numb. The others from the 9 heavens, holy ground, charged over. Not only that, the people from the 5 elements palace and the 10,000 thunder, holy ground, also charged over. Countless attacks shattered the area in front of him. However, Lin Xian's speed was beyond their expectations. In an instant, he dodged these attacks. The remaining energy shockwaves were all destroyed by the sword chi on his body. Moreover, these people were attacking Lin Xian while resisting the thousands of sword lights in the sky. It could be said that they were in a mess. Lin Xian easily dodged the attacks and once again came in front of the injured elder. Old bastard, do you think you can kill me just because you have more people? Lin Xian's eyes exploded with a biting, cold killing intent. Since the people from the 3 holy lands wanted to kill him, then he would not be lenient. He wanted to see who would be the one to kill who today, courting death. The elder was so angry that he vomited blood. You're just a little kid. What qualifications do you have to say such words to me? Is that so? I'm a little kid? You're an elder? So what? Today I'll kill you, an elder. Sword chi erupted from Lin Xian's body. Everyone's expression changed, and even a few experts who rushed over were directly sent flying. A series of dragon roars and sword cries rang out, piercing through the 9 heavens. At this moment, the entire hall had turned into a world of sword Tao. Everyone was trembling. Even the 5 Elements Saint and the Myriad Thunder Saint were shocked. The two of them looked at each other and quickly charged over. They wouldn't give the other party a chance to make a move. However, Lin Xian was even faster. Pum! The sword slashed down and landed on the heaven-tier treasured spear. The huge force caused the elder to be sent flying again. There were even more places on his body that had collapsed. Other than his head, which was still intact, the rest of his body was torn apart. The old man was scared out of his wits. Light blossomed from his head, and a mysterious rune flickered between his eyebrows. He was protecting his soul because he knew that Lin Xian had a terrifying soul attack. He didn't want his soul to be destroyed in an instant. If that happened, he would really be dead for sure. Shua! Lin Xian disappeared and dodged the attacks of the Myriad Thunder Saint Sun and the 5 Elements Saint Sun. In the next moment, he arrived before the old man once more. At this moment, the old man's body was glowing and he had recovered. His face was extremely ugly. At this moment, he had swallowed countless treasures and even swallowed 2 elixirs that could increase his combat strength. Buzz! He held the long spear, and a bloody light burst out from his eyes. Damn brat, go to hell! The long spear danced, and a terrifying and violent power accompanied by murderous aura pierced out. In an instant, it enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian didn't care. Countless sword lights surrounded his body, forming a green dragon that coiled around him. Thousands of sword chi destroyed all the power around him. Swallowing elixirs. That's your trump card. You're such an elder. You want to use elixirs to increase your strength against a young junior like me? What a joke. Shameless. Ah, damn it. I'll kill you. The old man was furious. How dare Su Emo look down on him? What right did Su Emo have to look down on him? He was a peerless almighty, an elder of the sacred land, an expert who dominated a region. When had he ever been looked down on by a young man? He roared crazily, and the void in front of him was completely broken. However, he couldn't hurt Su Emo at all. What peerless almighty? What elder? In my opinion, you're just a piece of trash who climbed to this position in 1,000 years. If I want to kill you, it'll be like slaughtering a dog. At the end of his words, the great dragon sword soul in Lin Xian's body exploded again. A dragon roar resounded in all directions. Boom! The ancient dragon abyss sword released an unparalleled power. The current Lin Xian could completely withstand the power of the 3 seals. Therefore, the ancient dragon abyss sword was unstoppable. Sky-shattering, battle song, chaotic pattern, God Punisher. The 4 killer moves exploded, and the void below was completely destroyed. The violent sword intent swept through the 9 heavens. The old man couldn't dodge or resist at all. His body exploded and turned into blood. Even his soul was directly destroyed by the piercingly cold sword light. In the sky, only a purple spear was left. Ruzalong! Lin Xian waved his hand, and the purple spear was sent flying. The crimson dragon swung its tail and caught it. Seeing this, the people of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, screamed crazily. No! Damn it! Give us back our treasures. Ah! You actually dared to kill our elder. I won't let you go. They were all crazy. Su Emo actually killed their elder. That was a peerless almighty. And a peerless almighty who used a heaven-grade artifact. They couldn't believe it at all. At this moment, those young disciples had faces filled with fear as they retreated non-stop. What a joke! How could they fight against such a terrifying person? All the disciples retreated, and the elders went forward. Kill him for me. The elders of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, also understood this. So they hurriedly let the young disciples use the array to attack from afar. As for the elders, they would fight in close combat. The Five Elements Palace and the Thousand Thunders Sacred Ground used the same method. Among them, the Five Elements Saint and the Thousand Thunders Saint took the lead to attack. They knew that they couldn't wait any longer. They had to kill Suemo, otherwise they wouldn't even be able to sleep well in the future. Boom! 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 The Five Elements Saint and the Thousand Thunders Saint joined forces and attacked Lin Xian. Countless sword lights flashed above Lin Xian's head, shattering the void. He stopped and stared coldly at the two saints. Just as well, I'll get rid of the two of you today. Ruzalong! Lin Xian roared. The crimson dragon swung its tail and swept away a group of people with its long spear. At the same time, he said, "Understood." He naturally understood what Lin Xian meant. With a wave of its dragon claw, black quicksand swept out and enveloped the Thousand Thunder Saint and the others. Suddenly, they were randomly teleported out. Damn it! Seeing this, the Five Elements Saint roared and retreated quickly. Originally, he wanted to join forces with the Thousand Thunder Saint to kill Suemo with absolute strength. But before they could attack, the Thousand Thunder Saint was randomly teleported away. This scene was indeed beyond his expectations. Chapter 2511. The 10,000 Thunder Saint had been randomly teleported away before he even started attacking. This scene was indeed beyond his expectations. Therefore, he had to stop. Lin Xian looked at him and sneered disdainfully. "Why, without the 10,000 Thunder Saint, you don't dare to attack. What a piece of trash! Coward! Get lost, you ant! You're not worthy of my attack." What? He actually called the Five Elements Saint a piece of trash? Coward? In the distance, those people did not leave. They were watching from afar. When they heard that, their scalps went numb, and their hearts beat wildly. Who dared to call the Five Elements Saint a coward? A piece of trash? No one in the younger generation was qualified to say that. However, at this moment, the other party said it without hesitation. The Five Elements Saint's face was terrifyingly dark. "You're courting death." He was really mad. Indeed, without the 10,000 Thunder Saint, he did not have full confidence. However, it was just a lack of confidence. This did not mean that he was afraid of the other party, nor did it mean that he feared the other party. How dare the other party call him an ant? How dare he call him a piece of trash? He could not tolerate it. "Kid, do you really think I can't beat you?" The Five Elements Saint's voice was cold. "I just want to find a safe way. Since you're so reckless, I'll kill you alone." The Five Elements Saint was really angry. He said coldly, "Listen, back off. Don't attack. I want to kill him alone." Saint, when the people of the Five Elements Palace heard that, they were extremely anxious. The Five Elements Saint snorted. "What? Didn't you hear what I said? Or are you saying that even you don't believe me? Do you think I'm a piece of trash?" Once he said that the people of the Five Elements Palace did not dare to speak. What a joke! The Five Elements Saint was a powerful existence. At such a young age, he had defeated all the heroes and obtained the position of the saint. How could such a person be a piece of trash? How could he be an ant? Forget it! Let the saint do it himself. Yes, the saint's strength was definitely not something that this kid could imagine. "Kid, you're dead meat. Our saint has been suppressing his strength. Today he will show it all. You'll definitely die." What? The Five Elements Saint suppressed his strength? When the people in the distance heard that, they were shocked. Lin Xian sneered. "Suppressing his strength? Don't flatter yourself. If you have any tricks up your sleeves, just use them. Today, I'll let you know what it means to be invincible." Lin Xian's voice was sonorous. Every word he said transformed into countless sword waves that blasted out in all directions. For a time, no one could get close to him. "Kid, you don't have to provoke me. I'll show you. I will let you see the true Five Elements world." The Five Elements Saint's expression was cold as he quickly formed 5 seals. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth revolved around him. The five elements seal was undone. A cold voice sounded. The five element saint's power exploded again, reaching the peak. A terrifying power of the fifth form swept across the surroundings. Everyone took a few steps back. So powerful. The five element saint's power had indeed skyrocketed. Heavens, could it be that he really suppressed his strength? What was he trying to do? Cries of surprise could be heard. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Indeed, his opponent's strength had increased. But so what? Today he had to kill him. I was planning to use my 5 phases world to deal with Leaf Daudenier and Sage Sun Alcade. Who could have guessed that I'd use it on you instead? But you can die in peace now. Sure enough, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth elemental light appeared around the 5 element saint. They connected with each other and formed a strange world. Although it was called a world, it seemed to be the other party's domain. However, it was not an ordinary domain. It was an extremely strange 5 elements array that was formed by combining it with the 5 element saint's domain. Its power was much stronger than a simple domain. Humph! The 5 elements saint snorted and waved his arm. Golden light flashed and turned into countless golden spears that flew forward. Each spear was flowing with a biting, cold, murderous aura. Even a peerless almighty would not dare to touch it lightly. How terrifying! Was this the 5 elements world? It was indeed powerful. That's right. This attack is much stronger than before. I wonder if that brat will be able to withstand it. Discussions broke out one after another. The people from the 5 elements, Holy Land, were paying close attention. The people from the 9 heavens, Holy Land, did not go forward. It was not that they did not want to go forward, but the 5 elements saint's domain made it impossible for them to go forward. The 5 elements saint's 5 elements world enveloped the space around Lin Xian. If they went forward, they would probably be attacked. Therefore, they retreated to the side to watch. Facing the thousands of golden spears, Lin Xian waved his sword and smashed all the spears with the power of annihilation. Clang! 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 Everyone's blood boiled. Who do you think you are? How dare you call yourself the 5 elements world? It was just a space formed by a domain and an array. Watch how I break it for you. Lin Xian sneered. Indeed, if one was not a sage, one would not dare to call their domain a world. This 5 elements saint was so arrogant that he dared to call his domain a 5 elements world. You're courting death. The 5 elements saint roared. How dare his opponent look down on him? In the next moment, the power of the 5 elements in the 5 elements world formed a 5-shaped spear in his hand. Boom! With a thrust of the spear, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The terrifying long spear shattered the sword light that filled the sky. It then charged towards Lin Xian in a ferocious manner. Lin Xian used the demigods and semidevils to dodge quickly. At the same time, he waved the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand again. Clang! With a crisp sound, the 5 elements spear was cut in half, and the terrifying power of the 5 elements disappeared. What? It was cut in half, the surrounding people exclaimed. The people from the 5 elements palace were even more shocked. They didn't dare to believe that such a terrifying weapon had a power that was extremely close to that of a priceless treasure. However, it was cut in half by his opponent's sword. This was too unbelievable. Is this your 5 elements world? It's so pitifully weak. Lin Xian sneered. The chaotic heaven destroyer sword and the 5 elements sword appeared and disappeared mysteriously. The 5 elements world trembled as if it was about to collapse. It was too powerful. Everyone trembled. At this moment, the combat power that Lin Xian displayed was really terrifying. It filled all of them with despair. The 5 elements saint kept retreating, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. Several cracks appeared on his body. Ah, Finally, he stopped and roared at the sky. The power of the 5 elements in his body exploded. "Kid, you forced me to do this," he roared crazily. Boom, boom, boom. In his 5 elements world, the sky was filled with dazzling lights. 5 figures appeared in the void. These 5 figures were overflowing with light and color. Their faces were exactly the same as the 5 elements saint. Clones. Seeing this scene, many people exclaimed in surprise. Indeed, they had seen such a remarkable ability before. However, it was usually divided into 2 or at most 3. It was rare to see someone like the 5 elements saint who could split into 5 clones. Chapter 2512. Damn brat, you've completely infuriated me. Today, I'll let you know my final trump card. A cold voice sounded from all directions. The 5 clones spoke at the same time. A terrifying, murderous intent pierced through the clouds. Lin Xian frowned. 5 clones? It was indeed beyond his expectations. But so what? The other party couldn't even defeat him. Did he think he could overturn the situation with just a few clones? What a joke! You're no match for me, and neither are your clones. Even if you have 50 clones, I can still destroy them, let alone 5. Lin Xian's sonorous voice shook the 9 heavens. In the next moment, the roar of a dragon and the cry of a sword could be heard from his body. Countless violent sword chi slashed forward like mountains. Raging waves. The cold voice reverberated in the air. The 5 clones in the sky shouted together and formed the same seal with their palms. Then, they suddenly opened their mouths. The seawater in the sky surged, and a blue light shrouded the entire sky. It was so bright that people couldn't open their eyes. In an instant, the boundless sea swept forward and completely surrounded the sword chi. Boom! 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 The void collapsed in an instant, and the surrounding people's expressions changed drastically. The weaker ones were sent flying while vomiting blood. The stronger ones also felt their chests tighten, as if thousands of mountains were pressing down on their heads. Oh no, this is not ordinary seawater. This is 1,001-layer water. A drop of seawater was as heavy as Mount Tai. What? 1,001-layer water? Is this the legendary water? Damn it, the 5 elements saint is so terrifying. He has mastered 1,001-layer water. Everyone was terrified and retreated madly. Even the crimson dragon retreated to the side. The water was too terrifying. When it appeared, it was like 1,000 mountains crying out in unison. As expected, the seawater in the sky bent countless sword chi. Many of the sword chi were even broken in the middle. Kid, do you see that? With my trump card, you're no match for me at all. The 5 figures on the opposite side sneered, and a terrifying, murderous aura erupted from their eyes. Indeed, Lin Xian was also under attack. He felt that the qi and blood in his body were about to solidify, and his body was about to be crushed into a bloody mist. 1,001-layer water? As expected, he had some trump cards. However, it was still not enough. With a cold snort, the great dragon sword spirit erupted once more. A powerful force swept out in all directions. The 1,001 heavy water around him was completely wiped out by the sword light. Whoosh Lin Xian stepped into the air, and with each step, the image of a dragon appeared beneath his feet. Terrifying roars rang out, blasting apart the seawater that filled the sky. Sky-shattering, a beam of sword light flew out and exploded in the sky, splitting into pieces. Heaven and earth shattered. The 1,001 heavy water was mercilessly torn apart, and a huge black hole appeared. All the seawater in the sky flowed into the black hole. You want to devour my 1,001 heavy water? What a joke! In the distance, the 5 elements saint sneered. The 5 figures formed hand seals again, and the black hole collapsed. The 1,000-pound heavy water flowed out once more. They turned into dozens of water dragons and roared in the sky, wanting to completely suppress Lin Xian. As expected of the 1,001 heavy water, it was indeed terrifying. If even the black hole could not swallow them, then there was probably nothing that could withstand their weight. All the surrounding experts exclaimed. The people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, and 10,000 thunder, sacred ground, revealed a cruel smile. The people from the 5 elements palace looked even more ferocious. You want to compete with our saint? You're still far from it. You can't devour them. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He did not expect sky shattering to be unable to devour these things. However, so what? If he could not devour them, then he would completely destroy them. His great dragon sword spirit was not to be trifled with. Boom! Lin Xian waved his long sword, and the aura of the dragon sword gushed out. Suddenly, the 1,001 heavy water that was close to him all sizzled, then turned into water vapor and drifted into the sky. More and more of the 1,001 heavy water was destroyed, turning into water vapor that filled the sky and shrouded the surroundings. In the end, dozens of water dragons were completely destroyed and no longer existed. You want to hurt me with a mere 1,001 heavy water? What a joke! What other tricks do you have? Use them, or you won't have a chance. Lin Xian held his sword and strode forward. What? He actually destroyed the 1,001 heavy water? Moreover, he did it so easily. Heavens, who exactly is this kid? Why is his sword light so sharp? He can actually destroy the 1,001 heavy water? Everyone was stunned. The 1,001 heavy water could not be destroyed at all. Even the black hole could not devour it. However, the other party destroyed all the water with just a few swings of his sword. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have dared to believe it. Damn it! The 5 elements saint's expression became extremely ugly. He did not expect the other party to be able to destroy his 1,001 heavy water so easily. It was really hard for him to believe. However, he soon became ferocious. His trump card was not just the 1,001 heavy water, blazing red lotus, North Pole Earth. The 5 clones formed seals again, and the attributes on their bodies changed into the fire and earth attributes. The power of fire and earth surged out, and between heaven and earth, flames burned, forming countless lotus flowers that danced in the fire. The mountains crushed the rift as they charged toward Qin Nen once again. They completely enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved his dragon's sword domain and transformed into a true dragon. The dragon opened its mouth and spat out seawater. The dragon swayed its tail and knocked away the surrounding mountains. Buzz! Thousands of sword chi burst out from the dragon's body and slashed in all directions. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. It was as if the sun was about to be destroyed. The power of fire and earth were destroyed again. The sky was filled with terrifying sword light. The tide of energy terrified everyone. They had completely retreated from the main hall and hid in the surrounding passageways. There was nothing they could do. The energy was too terrifying. Let me show you what the true power of the 5 elements is. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with a piercing cold light. He floated in the void like a god fiend. Whoosh! He waved his sword and simulated everything in his body. The 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth appeared around him. Then the 5 elements began to evolve under the effect of the great dragon Sword Soul. Boom! Black flames danced and turned into black suns one after another, crowding the sky palace. There are thousands of them densely packed together. Each of them contained terrifying power that would make the eyelids of peerless Almighties twitch. Now that thousands of them appeared together, there was probably nothing that could resist. 10,000 suns burning the sky. Lin Xian waved his sword, and thousands of black suns smashed forward like meteors. Boom! 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 The 5 elements saint was struck by lightning. His 5 elements world shook, and countless cracks began to appear. The 5 clones also vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Damn it, be destroyed for me. The 5 elements saint roared crazily and attacked with 1,001 heavy water again to resist. But at this moment, Lin Xian's second attack came. The power of metal flashed quickly and formed golden swords in the sky. 108,000 golden swords were filled with murderous aura and filled the sky. Everyone could not help but kneel down. Chapter 25:13 Metal Slaying, Shaking the Heavens. 108,000 swords descended together with Lin Xian's wave. The 5 elements saint spat out blood and flew backward again. More cracks appeared on his 5 elements world. The 108,000 swords pierced through his 5 elements world, and the 5 elements world was quickly destroyed. The 5 clones were also covered in cracks. 2 of the clones exploded with a loud bang. The 5 elements saint was severely injured, and his face was filled with madness. 10,000 trees descend. The 5 elements saint roared crazily, and the power of wood flashed. Bang! Countless forests appeared around Lin Xian, covering the entire sky. The trees began to absorb Lin Xian's power, trying to suck him dry. Humph! Let me show you what the true power of wood is. Lin Xian's sword radiance flashed, and he destroyed all the primeval forests. He pointed his sword at the sky. Heavenly tree! Heaven and earth trembled, and the void above cracked open. A green tree fell from the sky. This green tree was too terrifying. It was surrounded by green light and covered with mysterious patterns. It was like a heavenly tree, and it completely suppressed the 5 element saint. Puff! The 5 elements saint spat out blood, and his 5 elements world shattered again. The surrounding people were stunned. What is this? How can this kid have such a terrifying superpower? They were stunned because they had never seen the great Dragon Sword Soul's imitation superpower. They were terrified. The 5 elements saint could not believe it. He looked at the heavenly tree that fell from the sky, and his face was filled with shock. Impossible! How could his 5 elements' power possibly be more powerful than mine? I don't believe it. Half of his body was smashed by the heavenly tree. Not only that, the heavenly tree took root in his 5 elements world, and it quickly absorbed his power, causing his 5 elements world to shatter. The 5 clones were destroyed at the same time. Not good. Saint, the people from the 5 elements palace could not hold it in anymore. Although the 5 elements saint had said that he wanted to fight one-on-one, the situation was very dangerous now. If they continued to fight one-on-one, their saint would be killed. They could not bear the consequences. Therefore, the people from the 5 elements palace rushed forward crazily. Damn brat, go to hell! These people unleashed terrifying attacks towards Lin Xian. At the same time, they attacked the heavenly tree. Whoosh! Lin Xian shifted his position and dodged in an instant. However, the heaven-reaching divine wood was able to withstand the attacks that filled the sky and began to emit rumbling sounds. It was covered with countless cracks, but for a moment it did not shatter. That was because if one were to look carefully, one would be able to discover that those cyan streams of light were actually tiny sword auras. At that moment, those sword auras were extremely sharp. Damn it! These people went crazy and attacked again. Finally, they shattered the heavenly reaching divine wood. The sky-reaching divine tree collapsed, shattering the void. The entire ancient tomb seemed to be on the verge of shattering. The Holy Sun! These people exclaimed and rushed forward, wanting to rescue their Holy Sun. Without the suppression of the sky-piercing sacred tree, the 5 element saint retreated quickly. But in the next moment he screamed. This was because he discovered that Lin Xian was once again charging towards him. Damn brat, how dare you! The people of the 5 element palace were furious. Lin Xian actually dared to kill their holy son. How despicable! Lin Xian sneered. Why? Can you kill me? Can't I kill you? His body emitted a piercingly cold light as he unleashed his 4 killer moves, shattering the void. The 5-element sword formed a 5-element formation around him. Boom! 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 The 4 killer moves sent many people of the 5-element palace flying. The 5-element sword formation was surrounded by sword auras and murderous intent. Many people were blocked. The 5-element saint was also affected and kept retreating. Lin Xian could not escape. Lin Xian held his sword and charged forward. The elder of the 5-element palace roared, "You're courting death." They unleashed the power of the 5 elements. Mountains crisscrossed in the sky. Flames and seawater filled the sky, making splashing sounds. The entire sky was completely shattered, but all of this was split apart by the sword. Boom! Lin Xian stretched out his palm, and the sun and moon in his hand spun, sending an elder of the 5-element palace flying. Lin Xian threw out another punch. The black dragon roared and sent another elder flying. There were not many experts around the 5-element saint. The elders of the 5-element palace screamed crazily. Fellow cultivators of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, and the myriad thunders, sacred ground, attack together and kill this kid. Attack! Hearing the cry for help, the people of the 9 heavens, sacred ground roared. The people of the myriad thunders, sacred ground also rushed out. Although they could not use the immortal palace's trump card, the other party also did not have the sage's handbone. With so many of them, they could definitely kill the other party. Are you trying to bully me with numbers? Have a taste of Binhuang's array. The crimson dragon also roared. At this moment, he did not hold back. He opened his mouth and spat out killing arrays one after another. In an instant, an intense battle broke out. It was extremely terrifying. The surrounding cultivators retreated crazily again. They did not dare to stay any longer and could only watch from afar with their souls. The 3 sages' movements were earth-shattering. They wanted to destroy the entire ancient tomb. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon felt a strong impact. Damn it, they have too many people. The Crimson Dragon roared angrily. A crazy light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. With a wave of his hand, he tore a corner of the sage's hand bone. Boom! A terrifying aura spread out. Boom! The immortal palace was blasted away, the 5 elements mountain was overturned, and the sea of lightning was torn apart. The terrifying aura of a sage swept out in all directions. The cultivators of the 3 sacred grounds vomited blood and were sent flying. 2 of the sacred grounds elders did not dodge. In an instant, they were killed by the aura. Their bodies and souls were destroyed, and they no longer existed. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were also affected. The 2 of them were very fast and kept retreating. They did not suffer too much damage. However, the aura in their bodies was tumbling. Damn it, this kid is crazy. The people in the passage were terrified. The cultivators of the 3 sacred grounds were roaring crazily. This was the result of a lose-lose situation. The other party dared to do this. Could it be that he did not want to live anymore? They could not understand. Among them, the elders of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, roared. Activate the immortal light. Use your trump card. Suppress the sage's handbone. Otherwise, we won't be able to escape. They were really afraid. If the other party went crazy and wanted to fight to the death, no one would be able to survive. In the distance, the immortal palace was fixed in the void, emitting thousands of rays of light. The mysterious door slowly opened. 3 rays of immortal light slashed out. It was like a sword from the gods, making people tremble. Once the immortal light appeared, even a peerless almighty would be killed in an instant. They collided with the sage's handbone and were directly shattered. What? It was so terrifying. The cultivators of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, felt their scalps go numb. Just a strand of aura was enough to shatter their trump card. This was really too shocking. The people of the Five Elements Palace and the Thousand Thunders Sacred Ground did not dare to be careless. They also activated their trump cards. Among them, the Five Elements Mountain flew over again. This time, 5 runes appeared on it, emitting an unparalleled power. It wanted to seal the entire world. Chapter 25:14. Sure enough, everyone in the hall seemed to have been frozen in place. The people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, and the myriad thunder, sacred ground, cried out in horror. Fellow cultivator, help us break the seal. The Five Elements Palace elder waved his staff and broke the seal on these people. These people frantically retreated. The people in the passageway were filled with terror. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's pupils shrank. They felt that their bodies had been imprisoned by the void, and they could not move at all. They could only watch as the terrifying attack came toward them. Look, those two have been frozen. The martial artists in the passage were shocked when they saw this. That was for sure. Once the Five Elements seal was activated, it would seal the heavens and earth. Nothing could escape. Didn't they see that the elites from the other 2 sacred grounds were also sealed? If the Five Elements Palace had not broken the seal, they probably would not have been able to escape. What? It's so terrifying. Those people trembled. Indeed, they felt a sealing power revolving around them. Furthermore, this was because they were very far away from the sealing power. One could only imagine how Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were suppressed. Ha 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 ha. When the elders of the Five Elements Palace saw this scene, they all laughed loudly. See, this is the power of the Five Elements Palace's treasure. The Five Elements Saint also heaved a sigh of relief. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Previously, the other party had caused him to suffer such serious injuries. He swore that he would cut the other party into pieces. He would not let the other party die so easily. He wanted to torture the other party. The people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, and the myriad thunder, sacred ground, also surrounded them. They all laughed maliciously. Among them, the people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, looked even more ferocious. Fellow cultivator, can you let us deal with this kid? They were too angry because the other party might have killed their saint. If they did not capture the other party, they would not be able to explain it to their sacred ground. First, cripple their cultivation and break their limbs. They will not be able to escape. The people from the myriad thunder, sacred ground, said viciously, Yes, I want to see his body and soul destroyed with my own eyes. The Five Elements Saint was filled with killing intent. Waves of killing intent and malicious voices echoed between heaven and earth. The people in the passage were shocked when they heard this. Heavens, it's over. These two are probably not going to survive. That was for sure. Although he was strong, he was still unable to contend against the 3 holy lands. What a pity. Such a genius could very well become a great emperor in the future. So what? A genius who couldn't grow up was nothing. Sighs could be heard one after another. These people were all sighing for Lin Xian. However, the people from the 3 holy lands were sneering. The elders of the 9 heavens, holy ground, and 5 elements palace could no longer hold themselves back and rushed forward. The 2 of them instantly arrived near Lin Xian and Crimson Shinnong, wanting to destroy their cultivation bases. Then they cut off their limbs. Humph! Upon seeing this, Lin Xian snorted coldly. Looking at the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground, a sharp light flashed in his eyes. Golden runes shone in the sky. Although he couldn't move at the moment, his eye technique wasn't affected. Indeed, the elder of the 9 heavens holy ground screamed in agony as his body contorted uncontrollably. He retreated like a madman as the black necklace on his neck broke into pieces. This was the weapon that protected his soul. Under the effect of soul ignition, it broke into pieces. Ah, the elder of the 9 heavens, holy ground, screamed in agony. His soul was severely injured, and he screamed in agony. This scene caused everyone to be stupefied. They didn't expect that even though Lin Xian was immobilized, he could still injure an almighty with just a look. Such a move was heaven-defying. Damn it, this kid's soul power is still there. Hurry up and defend. Seeing this, the people of the 9 heavens, holy ground, roared in anger. They took out all the soul defense, weapons they could use to protect their souls. The people of 5 elements palace and 9 heavens, holy ground, did the same. Whoosh! Among them, the elder of 5 elements palace had already arrived in front of the crimson dragon. He revealed a sinister smile. This was because the crimson dragon didn't have the same eye technique as Lin Xian. Wah! The crimson dragon indeed didn't have any eye technique. At this moment, he opened his mouth and spat out a ball of dragon flame. The dragon flame contained a trace of dragon blood. It immediately covered half of the elder of 5 elements palace. The elder screamed in agony as half of his body melted. He flew back while screaming in agony. Damn it! What kind of move is this? It's fire. He actually has such a strange flame. Once he killed the snake, he would definitely take out his inner core. Angry roars and roars could be heard. The people of 5 elements palace stared at the crimson dragon. The people of 9 heavens, holy ground, stared at Lin Xian. Kill! They charged forward once again. After immobilizing their opponent, they were still injured. This made them feel ashamed. This could be said to be a great humiliation. They had to kill their opponent alone. Humph! The 5 elements saint snorted. This time, he was going to do it himself. Although he was severely injured, the 5 elements palace had many treasures to help him suppress his injuries. His damaged body had also recovered. However, his face was still a little pale. He stared at Lin Xian. Kid, I'll pay you back 10,000 times, no, 100,000 times for the injuries you received. He once again formed a 5 elements world and circled behind Lin Xian before beginning his attack. He was afraid of Lin Xian's eyes. Seeing this, Lin Xian laughed. 5 elements saint, I have to say, you're really a piece of trash. I've been immobilized, but you don't dare to attack me directly? Ha ha ha! Merciless laughter rang out, and the people of 5 elements palace cried out. The 5 elements saint was so angry that he vomited blood. The people around him were terrified. Yes, Lin Xian was already in such a state. It could be said that other than his eye technique, there was nothing else he could do. Such a person was no different from a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. However, the 5 elements saint didn't even dare to attack him directly. He only sneaked behind his opponent to attack. It had to be said that it was indeed surprising. It seemed that the 5 elements saint was completely frightened by his opponent. The people of 5 elements palace roared. So what? As long as we kill you, our saint is still invincible. Invincible? How could a piece of trash like him be called invincible? Lin Xian snorted. No matter what, you'll definitely die today. The 5 elements saint's cold voice came from behind. A terrifying killing intent mixed with the 5 elements realm pressed down. This time, the 5 elements saint didn't hold back. Buzz! Buzz! Lin Xian couldn't move, and he didn't use his eye technique. Countless sword qi burst out from his body, as if it had turned into a rain of swords, rushing toward the back. Boom! 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 The sky full of sword qi blasted on the 5 elements realm, making shocking collisions. Heaven and earth trembled again, and countless cracks appeared. What? He can still attack. Oh my God, it can't be. Wasn't he immobilized? Those people were crazy. Chapter 25:15. The people from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, and myriad thunder, sacred ground, were shocked. The people from the 5 elements palace were even more shocked. That's not right. The great five elements seal not only seals the body, but it can also seal one's strength. How did he manage to attack? These people have gone crazy. The five elements saint was even more shocked. He did not expect his opponent to be able to release sword chi. No matter what, his opponent could not escape now. He activated the five elements' power like a madman. On the other side, the people from the nine heavens, sacred ground, and myriad thunder, sacred ground, attacked again. They used their most powerful super skills, wanting to cripple Lin Xian together. As long as they crippled him, he would not be able to cause any more trouble. At that time, they would be able to slaughter him. Brat, let's see how you die this time. The elders from the five elements palace sneered. The people from the nine heavens, sacred ground, looked even more ferocious. I will use your blood as a sacrifice to our saint. Brat, you are too arrogant. Do you really think you are invincible? There are many people who can kill you. The people from the myriad thunder, sacred ground, said coldly. The three sacred grounds emitted a dazzling light that enveloped Lin Xian. It's over. That brat is dead. When the surrounding people saw this, they sighed. The crimson dragon also roared. He let out a dragon roar and tried to break free. However, he could not do so for the time being. Lin Xian felt a sense of danger, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. What? You want to kill me with just the great five element seal? You are still far from it. His aura exploded as the great dragon's sword soul in his body circulated. Rays of sword light appeared on his body. A dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared on his body and kept circling. The surrounding sword light became more and more piercing, as if it was going to pierce through the sky. Damn it! Attack! Don't give him a chance to resist. The five elements saint roared. He felt that something was wrong with his opponent, especially his opponent's sword chi. He had experienced it many times. It was so sharp that it made him feel despair. Therefore, he would not give his opponent a chance. Ka ka ka! Roar! However, they had underestimated Lin Xian and the great dragon sword spirit. The power unleashed by the #1 offensive saint art in the world was definitely beyond the imagination of these people. The roar of a dragon and the cry of a sword rang out. Between heaven and earth, the dragon's sword shadow slashed in all directions. Countless cracks appeared in the void, with Lin Xian as the center, spreading in all directions. Boom! The space he was in completely collapsed, and black holes appeared one after another. Lin Xian, on the other hand, let out a long howl. His figure flashed, and he instantly escaped from the black hole. What? He had escaped. How could this be? Damn it, hurry up and kill him. Angry shouts rang out one after another. The people of the 3 holy lands were stunned. The warriors in the surrounding passageways were even more shocked. Roar! The crimson dragon also let out a dragon roar. Its huge body shook the void as it escaped from inside. Damn it, you actually dared to trap Ben Huang. I'll cook you all and eat you later. At this moment, the crimson dragon's body expanded, and it turned into a true, peerless demon king. The dragon blood in its body surged. With a swing of its dragon tail, it directly shattered the void. It was like 100,000 mountains pressing down. The people of the 3 holy lands vomited blood. Kill! Lin Xian also let out a roar. The great dragon sword spirit continued to rise, and the ancient dragon abyss sword was swung out. Spurt! An elder of the myriad thunder holy land was sent flying. The lightning crutch in his hand was split into 3 pieces. His body was also split into 3 pieces, floating in the sky. Ah! A miserable voice rang out. That elder was screaming nonstop. Lin Xian, on the other hand, swept out in all directions. Not good. Damn it. Counterattack. The 5 elements saint, myriad thunder holy land, and 9 heavens holy land roared crazily. They realized that the other party's combat strength had increased again. Damn it. Could it be that the other party did not use his full strength before? How could it be? Is he trying to run? Seeing the five elements, Saint, keep retreating, Lin Xian sneered. The azure dragon hand stretched out and turned into a coiling dragon picture, enveloping the other party. Scram! The five elements Saint roared and struck out his five elements world to fight against the coiling dragon picture. The two forces collided in the sky, creating a tsunami-like energy wave. The coiling dragon picture was blocked, and the five elements Saint was also forced back. Whoosh! A dragon shadow appeared under Lin Xian's feet. He was extremely fast, and in an instant he was near the five elements Saint. You felt good when you sneak attacked me, right? Now have a taste of my attack. The fourth seal on his ancient dragon abyss sword was undone, and an unbelievable sword chi burst out. No! The five elements Saint screamed and instantly summoned his five clones to resist. However, this sword was truly too terrifying. His five clones were destroyed in an instant. His main body was also sent flying, vomiting blood. The five elements world was split into two by the sword. Another sword slashed out, and everyone felt their scalps go numb. They were scared out of their wits by this sword chi. The five elements Saint screamed again and again. This time, one of his arms was chopped off. He wanted to escape, but at this moment, a golden light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. A pair of cold golden eyes appeared in the sky. Ah! The five elements Saint screamed. His soul seemed to have been ignited, and he rolled in the sky. His speed of escape also slowed down. Sky-piercing sword. The dragon's sword shadow appeared on Lin Xian's body and enveloped him. He held the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand, and the four seals were undone. He turned into a sharp sword light and flew out. Whoosh! Poof! All the light between heaven and earth dimmed, and only a sword light was left in the sky. At this moment, everyone stopped attacking. They turned their heads and stared blankly at the scene. With a poochie sound, blood splattered everywhere. No, the people from the five elements palace screamed. The people from the nine heavens, sacred ground, and the myriad thunder, sacred ground gasped. This was because the five element Saint's head had been chopped off, and his corpse fell to the ground. However, the five elements Saint was not dead. His head screamed and turned into a stream of light, trying to break through the void and escape. How could he escape? Lin Xian stretched out his hand, and the sun, moon, and stars revolved around him, sealing the entire space. In the next moment, he grabbed the five elements Saint's head and brought it to his side. Then he activated soul ignition and completely burned his soul into ashes. Whoosh! Lin Xian held the five elements Saint's head with one hand and the ancient sword in the other. He swept it in all directions. Who else? If you want to die, come here. Stunned. Everyone was stunned. The people from the three sacred grounds were stunned. The people in the passageway were all trembling. Fear, infinite fear, spread throughout their bodies. That was the five elements Saint, the top genius of the younger generation. The future master of the five elements Holy Land was actually killed by someone here. Is this kid still human? Demon King. He is definitely a Demon King. In the future, they must not provoke him. Those people swallowed their saliva. The people from the three sacred grounds came back to their senses and roared crazily. Among them, the people from the five elements, sacred ground, kept screaming. The elders wailed, and their tears turned into a rain of blood that sprinkled all over the place. Chapter 25:16. Dead. Their holy son had been killed in front of everyone. His head was even in the other party's hand. This made them want to die. How were they going to explain it to the sacred ground when they returned? Ah, kill him. You must kill him. The people of the five elements palace roared crazily. At this moment they had lost their minds. Everyone's eyes were red, and their bodies were surrounded by a murderous aura as if they had turned into demons. The people of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, were also roaring. They did not expect that apart from their holy sun, even the 5 elements' holy sun had been killed. This was definitely an earth-shattering earthquake. Although the people of the 10,000 thunder, sacred ground, were frightened, they were relieved. Fortunately, their holy sun had been randomly teleported away by the black quicksand. Otherwise, he would probably be dead now. Therefore, at this moment, the elders of the 10,000 thunder, sacred ground, were secretly delighted. But soon, these people of the 10,000 thunder, sacred ground, were stunned and even frightened. Their faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. That was because in a passage next to them, a thunderous figure cut through the void and quickly arrived at the main hall. The 10,000 thunder, holy sun. This figure was the 10,000 thunder, holy sun. Previously, he had been randomly teleported away by the black quicksand, but he had finally returned. As soon as he appeared, the 10,000 thunder, holy sun released a sea of lightning that filled the entire sky. He roared coldly, "Damn brat, come and die!" He was really mad. Before he could make a move, he had been teleported away. Moreover, the teleportation distance was very far. He had spent a lot of effort to rush back here. Therefore, he swore that he would join hands with the 5 elements' holy sun. He would torture him to death. But soon he was stunned, because he realized that no one responded. The entire main hall was silent. Everyone looked at him with a strange expression. The elders of the 10,000 thunder, sacred ground, were even more furious. The people in the passage also swallowed their saliva. The 10,000 thunder, holy sun, had come at this time. Wasn't he walking into a trap and dying in vain? Sure enough, the elders of the 10,000 thunder, sacred ground, roared crazily. "Holy sun, leave quickly! Leave quickly!" They were about to go crazy. Previously, they were secretly delighted that their holy sun was not here and could avoid a calamity. However, they did not expect that just as they finished speaking, their saint would charge over from afar. They had to quickly remind the chosen to leave. Otherwise, who knew what crazy things this kid would do? Leave quickly? What did he mean? The 10,000 thunder saint's son was stunned. He frowned. Why did these elders want him to escape? What did she mean by that? She didn't look up to him. He snorted coldly and turned to look at Lin Xian. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as he thought, "Damn brat, I will definitely—" Before he could finish, he was stunned. He realized that Lin Xian was holding a head in his left hand. That head belonged to the 5 elements saint. Damn it, what happened? The 10,000 thunder saint shuddered, and his heart almost jumped out of his chest. The 5 elements saint's head was held in the other party's hand, and there was no sign of life. What was going on? Could it be that the 5 elements saint was killed? "Holy sun, leave now!" Seeing the 10,000 thunder sage in a daze, the 10,000 thunder sages, elders, roared angrily again. At the same time, they rushed over crazily to protect the 10,000 thunder sage. The 5 elements saint has been killed by this kid. "Holy sun, leave now!" The elders roared again. What? He was really killed. The 10,000 thunder sage's pupils shrank, and his mind went blank. How could this be? The 5 elements saint was a genius like him. How could anyone kill him? Even if other saints wanted to kill them, it would be very difficult. After all, everyone was of the same level and had many trump cards. Unless it was an invincible challenger or a peak 8-star. A late-stage 8-star powerhouse could defeat a saint, but it was impossible to kill him. Therefore, the 10,000 thunder sage did not believe it at all. Although the 9 firmament saint had been killed before, they did not think that it was Lin Xian who did it. They knew how difficult it was to kill a saint. They said that Lin Xian was the murderer to find an excuse to kill him. But now the 5 elements saint had been killed by him. He couldn't help but suspect that the 9th firmament saint might have been killed by the other party as well. Thinking of this, a trace of horror appeared in the 10,000 thunder sage's eyes. He did not dare to stay any longer and turned to escape. Brat, you just wait and see what happens this time. It won't end like this. Let's go. Of course, the 10,000 Thunder Sage did not want to admit that he had escaped. So he left a few words and left with his men. At least, he would not lose too much face. You want to leave? I think you'd better go to hell and accompany the 5-element saint. That way, the two of you won't be lonely on the road to hell. Lin Xian's murderous aura surged as he charged over again. Damn it! How dare you attack our saint? The elders of the 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground, roared crazily. Lin Xian waved his hand and threw the 5 elements saint's head out. With a bang, it was blown up by the elders of the 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground. Damn it! When the people of the 5 elements palace saw this, their eyes turned red. They stared at Lin Xian with murderous aura. At the same time, they also stared at the elders of the 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground. The elder of the 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground hurriedly said, Brothers of the 5 elements palace, this has nothing to do with us. The 5 elements saint was killed by this kid. We should join forces and take him down. Take me down? Humph, you're already trying to escape. Do you want to drag the 5 elements palace down with you? Lin Xian began to sow discord. Sure enough, the people of the 5 elements palace looked unfriendly. They stared at the 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground with cold eyes. The people of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, also walked out. The 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground obviously wanted to retreat now because their saint had not been killed. However, the people of the 5 elements palace and the 9 heavens, sacred ground were different. Their saint had been killed by the other party, but they still wanted to fight to the death with the other party. Do you want to leave, 10,000 Thunder Sage? The people of the 5 elements palace gritted their teeth. The elder of the 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground, braced himself and said, You've seen it too. This kid's strength is too terrifying. I think we should leave for the time being and think of a long-term plan. Otherwise, more people will die. As soon as these words came out, the faces of the people of the 5 elements palace and the 9 heavens, sacred ground, turned black. What a joke! How could they stop it this time? The murderous aura on their bodies became stronger and stronger. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He stared at the 10,000 Thunder Sage and said, I've said it before. You can't escape. As he spoke, he raised his hand and slashed with his sword. A terrifying sword light slashed forward. Get lost! The 10,000 Thunder Sage roared, and the elders were scared out of their wits. Bang! The 10,000 Thunder Sage's lightning palm was split open by the sword. Not only that, he felt that his entire arm was cracked. A sword wound appeared on his arm. Blood gushed out, and even his bones were exposed. Chapter 25:17. Damn it! How could his sword Qi be so powerful? The 10,000 Thunder Saint's expression changed in an instant. He did not dare to fight back. After all, his opponent had killed the 5 element saint. He was afraid that his opponent's strength had surpassed his. Boom! The 10,000 Thunder Saint roared, and lightning intertwined in the sky, forming a sea of lightning. He turned around and left. However, he was still one step too late. Lin Xian waved his hand, and 108,000 golden swords quickly intertwined and cut off the 10,000 Thunder Saints' escape route. At the same time, the sky-reaching divine wood descended from the sky, trying to suppress him. Boom! The divine wood was like a giant pillar that crushed the void, tore apart the sea of lightning, and blasted the 10,000 Thunder Saints' body. Uft! The 10,000 Thunder Saint vomited blood and flew backward. All the bones in his body were shattered. Ah! He flew out for a long time before he stopped. Then, with a roar, lightning crackled all over his body, and all the broken bones were reborn again. Damn kid, don't go too far! The 10,000 Thunder Saint roared crazily. He was a saint after all. How dare his opponent treat him like this? That drove him crazy. What? You want the treatment of a saint? You want me to be respectful to you? Fine. Lin Xian sneered. Then I'll invite you to die. He turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed out. The biting cold sword light shrouded the void and slashed forward. The Thunder God Bracelet. The 10,000 Thunder Saint was also angry. He opened his mouth and spat out a Thunder God Bracelet. It was covered with terrifying runes. It was one of his trump cards called the Thunder God Bracelet. At this moment, the Thunder God Bracelet appeared in the air and whistled forward. Boom! In an instant, it shattered the sword light that filled the sky and erupted with an incomparably powerful lightning power. The Thunder God Bracelet was a trump card. It was said to be indestructible and could destroy everything. The brat, surnamed Lin, also walked the path of a firm and fierce cultivation method. Between the two of them, who would be the stronger one? The martial artists in the passage were discussing animatedly. They were somewhat looking forward to it. The 10,000 Thunder Saint's confidence also soared after his successful attack. From the looks of it, the other party was only SOO. Could it be that the other party had used the saint's hand bone to kill the 5-element saint? Although he hadn't seen it. He didn't believe that the other party could kill a holy sun by relying on his own strength. In the next moment, he activated the lightning god's bracelet again and charged forward. Instantly, the surrounding sword chi was all sent flying. Ha! You're just SO. Today, I will avenge the 5-element saint. The 10,000 lightning Saint Sun let out a long roar. Instead of running away, he attacked. The Holy Sun! These elders were worried about the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun. They wanted to remind him to leave. However, Wan Leisheng still rushed over and fought with Lin Xian. Seeing this scene, the corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled into a strange smile. Great 5-element seal! A cold voice came out of his mouth. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. What? Great seal of 5 elements? What was this kid talking about? He also knows the 5 elements Great Seal? Heavens, what kind of joke was this? The Great Seal of 5 elements was the supreme secret technique of the 5 elements palace. Other than the 5 elements saint and a few of the elders, no one else could learn it. This kid is obviously not from the 5 elements palace. How could he know the Great Seal of 5 elements? That's right. I think he's just trying to scare the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun. Although that kid also knows the power of 5 elements, he can't use the Great Seal of 5 elements. However, these people were soon stunned. This was because they found that the lightning god's bracelet was fixed in midair. Buzz! 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 The lightning god's bracelet shone brightly, and countless lightning runes flashed on it. It was very terrifying. However, at this moment, it couldn't move at all. Not only that, but the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun's body was also stiff, as if he had been enchanted. What? He was really sealed. How could this be? These people were so shocked that their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. The people of the 5 Elements Palace screamed. Whoosh! In front of him, a sword light slashed over and slashed the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun, sending him flying. The 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun's armor was split open. Blood flowed out like a river of blood, dyeing the void red. Poof! He kept retreating. Ah! The 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun roared crazily. He was finally frightened. It was too terrifying. His opponent's strength was far beyond his imagination. He didn't dare to fight anymore. Revenge for the 5 elements Saint Sun could go to hell. He just wanted to take back the lightning god's bracelet and leave quickly. Boom! The lightning god's bracelet trembled, and endless lightning burst out like a vast sea, piercing through the surrounding void. Whoosh! It directly broke all the seals and rushed out. Huh. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect the lightning god's bracelet to break through. He didn't expect the lightning god's bracelet to break through his seal so quickly. He simulated the great seal of 5 elements through the great dragon sword soul. Although it wasn't the real great seal of 5 elements, the effect of the seal was not weak at all. It seemed that the lightning god's bracelet was powerful enough to escape. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun heaved a sigh of relief. The lightning god's bracelet on his head turned around and fled. It turned into a flash of light and tore through the void. Just as he was about to escape, a divine dragon's tail slapped over and smashed half of his body. He was sent flying again and vomited blood. Who was it? The 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun roared. He was about to go crazy. It's me. The Crimson Dragon sneered. Your magic treasure is not bad. Leave it to Ben Huang. The Crimson Dragon's eyes lit up as he stared at the lightning god's bracelet. That was a good thing. The Crimson Dragon was very happy. Previously, he had snatched a Heaven Stage elementary treasure chi spear, and now he was eyeing the lightning god's bracelet. The Heaven Stage treasure chi spear had the soul imprint of a peerless powerhouse on it, but the Crimson Dragon had forcibly sealed it. After the battle, he would slowly erase it. At this moment, he grabbed a spear and stabbed it out. Between heaven and earth, thousands of spear lights shot forward like rainbows. Stinky Snake, get lost. The 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun was furious. He waved the lightning god's bracelet to fight against it. A shocking collision sounded. But at this time on the other side, Lin Xian also waved his long sword. He slashed the lightning god's bracelet with his sword. The Crimson Dragon roared and waved his dragon claws, which kept enlarging. Like a red mountain, he enveloped the lightning god's bracelet. Ha 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 ha. The lightning god's bracelet is mine. The Crimson Dragon laughed strangely. Ah. Seeing this scene, the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun's expression changed. The elders of the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun roared. Damn it! He put down the lightning god's bracelet. They attacked like crazy, trying to take back the lightning god's bracelet. However, they were all destroyed by Lin Xian's sword chi. A sword slashed across the sky, cutting off the connection between these people and the lightning god's bracelet. The Crimson Dragon grabbed it to the side, wanting to take it back. However, at this time his expression changed, because a terrifying killing intent suddenly erupted from the lightning god's bracelet. It gushed out like a flood. Chapter 2518. A terrifying killing intent suddenly burst out from the Thunder God bracelet. It gushed out like a flood. Damn it! The Crimson Dragon threw the Thunder God bracelet out in an instant. However, he was still affected. Bang! He was sent flying. A crack appeared on his dragon claw, and blood flowed out. Damn it! Ben Huang was in so much pain. The Crimson Dragon grimaced in pain and quickly drank all the dripping dragon blood. Its blood was very precious. It was unwilling to leave it for others to benefit. Lin Xian was also surprised. He knew that the Crimson Dragon's body was strong. Even a heaven-grade treasure might not be able to break it. But now there was a crack. What exactly was that shocking killing intent? It was the killing intent of an invincible king. There was actually the killing intent of an invincible king in the Thunder God bracelet. The Crimson Dragon cried out, "Damn it! How dare you trick Ben Huang? What? The killing intent of an invincible king." No wonder. The people in the passage also understood. Indeed, they had seen the strength of the Crimson Dragon before, but they did not expect this killing intent to be the killing intent of an invincible king. An invincible king was a terrifying existence that they looked up to. A single glance could kill a peerless almighty. It could be said that it was extremely terrifying. The people of the Myriad Thunder Holy Land had gloomy faces, and the Myriad Thunder Holy Sun's face was even colder. Damn it, they couldn't kill him. They were too surprised. As these people knew, the killing intent of an invincible king could easily kill a peerless almighty. However, the other party didn't die. It was only a crack on his claw. This kind of injury was nothing to people of their level. Kid, be careful. This Thunder God bracelet is too damn evil. The dragon blood on the crimson dragon surged, and the crack on his claw was healed. Lin Xian's expression was extremely solemn. He did not expect that the Thunder God bracelet would contain the killing intent of a king. This was definitely something that could threaten his life. However, what puzzled him was that if there was such a terrifying killing weapon, why didn't the other party directly use it before? If that was the case, perhaps his injuries would be even more severe. Could it be that the killing intent of an invincible king couldn't be triggered? He could only use it passively? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. He felt more and more that it was possible. Moreover, he guessed that invincible kings wouldn't have too much killing intent. Otherwise, the 10,000 Thunder Saint would not have escaped. The elders of the 10,000 Lightning Holy Land would not be so nervous. Thinking of this, the corner of his mouth raised into a cold smile. If that was the case, then things would be much easier. Humph! It's just a strand of the killing intent of an invincible king. You want to kill me? You guys are too naive. Lin Xian attacked again. What? This brat actually dared to resist the killing intent of an invincible king? Was he tired of living? Could it be that he still had some sort of trump card to rely on? The martial artists in the passageway discussed animatedly. As for the people from the 10,000 Lightning Holy Land, their faces darkened. Damn it! The 10,000 Thunder Saint waved his hand and controlled the Thunder God bracelet to rush out. Brat, you are too arrogant and ignorant. Today, I will let you know the power of an invincible king's killing intent. Sure enough, between heaven and earth, a terrifying killing intent circulated, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Everyone trembled and crawled on the ground. Lin Xian also felt a great crisis. Countless sword lights surrounded his body, forming a dragon sword phantom that roared in the void. It fought against the killing intent of an invincible king. There was a loud rumble. Heaven and earth trembled, and Lin Xian retreated with a trace of blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. Seeing this, the 10,000 Thunder Saint laughed wildly. Did you see that, brat? An ignorant ant like you dares to compete with an invincible king? A wisp of killing intent can destroy you. What are you so arrogant for? Even if you hurt me, it was the power of an invincible king, not your power. I really don't know where you get your arrogance from. Lin Xian wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and his eyes became brighter and brighter. It's just a wisp of killing intent, not the true body of an invincible king. Do you really think you can kill me? So what if you're an invincible king? Next, I'll let you have a taste of the pressure of a sage. Lin Xian tore another corner of the sage's seal. Boom! A force that swept across heaven and earth surged out, and the killing intent of an invincible king was swallowed up like a boat in a storm. Damn it! This scene made the people of the 10,000 Thunder Sacred Ground roar crazily. The people of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, and 5 elements palace also retreated to resist the pressure of the sage. But fortunately this time Lin Xian only tore it for a short while and then sealed it again. This made everyone breathe a sigh of relief. The people of the 10,000 Thunder Sacred Ground were gloomy. The killing intent of an invincible king in their Thunder God bracelet had been obliterated. Even if there was a wisp left, it was very little and couldn't exert its power at all. Ha ha ha! The killing intent of an invincible king is nothing in front of a sage. The crimson dragon sneered arrogantly. Keep acting tough. Come and kill Ben Huang. Let's see if your invincible killing intent can still work." Lin Xian also brandished his sword and charged forward. The ancient dragon abyss sword turned into a giant sword and slashed down from the sky, crushing the void. It slashed on the thunder god bracelet. With a boom, the thunder god bracelet was sent flying again. At the same time, the sharp sword light slashed toward the Nine Heavens Saint. The Nine Heavens Saint's face changed drastically. He knew how powerful the sword chi was. If even the thunder god bracelet couldn't resist it, he was afraid that his body wouldn't be able to resist it. So he quickly retreated. At the same time, he controlled the thunder god bracelet to float above his head to resist. However, the power of the great dragon sword soul was beyond his imagination. If he still had the killing intent of an invincible king, he might be able to resist it. But now, the thunder god bracelet alone couldn't resist at all. Sure enough, after 3 slashes, the thunder god bracelet was sent flying again. The 4th slash cut the 10,000 Thunder Saint in half. The saint, the elders of the 10,000 Thunder, sacred ground, went crazy. They went crazy and even burned their spiritual power. They rushed forward crazily, trying to save the 10,000 Thunder Saint. Half of them rushed toward the 10,000 Thunder Saint, while the other half crazily attacked Lin Xian. All kinds of secret techniques and treasures were thrown out desperately. Lin Xian didn't resist. His body shook and quickly retreated into the distance. This is great. After saving the saint, the people of the 10,000 Thunder sacred ground breathed a sigh of relief. Boom, boom, boom. The 10,000 Thunder Saint's broken body was also reassembled. His face was pale and full of horror. Damn it! Run! Run! He didn't dare to stay here any longer. 6 or 7 elders gathered around him, and there were many disciples of the 10,000 Thunder sacred ground around him to protect him. The group of people quickly retreated. Lin Xian didn't chase after them. Instead, he sneered. Mysterious golden patterns appeared in his eyes. Not good, it's a soul power attack. Saint, quickly defend. The elders of the 10,000 Thunder sacred ground shouted crazily. They used all their soul defense treasures to cover the 10,000 Thunder Saint. Chapter 25:19. The elders of the 1,000 Thunder sacred land shouted frantically. They covered the 1,000 Thunder sacred sun with their soul defense magic treasures. The 1,000 Thunder sacred sun even activated his magic treasure. The opponent's soul power was no weaker than the sword chi. In fact, it was even weirder. Therefore, they didn't dare to be careless. They didn't expect that Lin Xian's soul power attack wasn't aimed at the 1,000 Thunder sacred sun. Instead, it was aimed at an elder next to the 1,000 Thunder sacred sun. This elder was very close to the 1,000 Thunder sacred sun, just to his left. Moreover, just now this elder even gave his soul defense magic treasure to the 1,000 Thunder sacred sun. It could be said that there was no defense at all. It had to be said that these elders were really dutiful. They would rather have their souls destroyed to protect the 1,000 Thunder sacred sun. However, this also gave Lin Xian a chance. Lin Xian didn't use soul ignition. He used another magic power, divine guidance. It was a kind of controlling eye technique. In other words, it could temporarily control someone's soul, and thus that person. Lin Xian's current soul power was so powerful that it had surpassed that of a peerless almighty. Coupled with the heavenly secret divine eyes, although the opponent's elder was also a peerless almighty, he was still controlled in an instant. A strange light appeared in his eyes, and his body was out of control. A long saber appeared in his hand, and then he slashed at the 1,000 Thunder sacred sun. He raised his hand, and the saber fell. The 1,000 Thunder sacred sun was split in half and blood spurted out. What's going on? The Thousand Thunder sacred sun was split in half. What happened? Everyone was stunned. Could it be that Lin Xian made a move again? No, who was it? It was the elder of the Thousand Thunder sacred land. The martial artists in the surrounding passageways went crazy. Not to mention them, the people of the Five Elements Palace and the Nine Heavens sacred land were also stunned. Those of the Thousand Thunder sacred land were even crazier. Damn it, what are you doing? The people next to him hurriedly sent the elder flying with a palm strike. The elder's bones were broken, and half of his body turned into a bloody mist. He screamed miserably and flew out, smashing through the void. However, the pain also woke him up from the illusion. When he found out what he had done, he screamed like a madman. No, damn it, that wasn't my intention. I'm being controlled. However, the people from the 10,000 Lightning Holy Land reacted as if they were facing a great enemy and refused to allow them to approach. On the other side, the 10,000 Thunder Saint screamed crazily. He didn't expect to be struck by his own people. This caused his injuries to worsen. Fortunately, although he was seriously injured, it was not fatal. His body slowly healed. However, right at this moment, an ice-cold voice sounded from behind him. Do you still want to recover? Go to hell and accompany the Five Element Saint. No. The 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun roared crazily. Save me! The elders of the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land went crazy. They wanted to save him. However, it was already too late. During the chaos just now, Lin Xian showed his extreme speed and arrived behind the 10,000 Thunder Saint. A dragon-shaped sword shadow condensed in his hand. With a slash, the great dragon sword spirit annihilated everything, directly destroying the opponent's mind and spirit. Boom! The 10,000 Thunder Saint's body, which had not yet recovered, exploded again and turned into a bloody mist. This time, not even his bones were left. He turned into a rain of blood, scattering in all directions. That soul was also destroyed by the piercingly cold sword light. The great dragon sword spirit was unparalleled. The 10,000 Thunder Saint was killed. Heavens! Everyone was going crazy. This was the third holy sun that had fallen. Although the ancient tomb was dangerous before, no holy sun had fallen. But who would have thought that 3 holy suns would fall in succession? Moreover, they were not killed by the powerful array formation in the ancient tomb. They were killed by a young man with great power. It's over. Great earthquake. It was definitely a great earthquake. The 3 holy lands would probably go crazy and hunt them down regardless of everything. Sure enough, the 10,000 Thunder Saint screamed crazily. They began to burn their spiritual power, and their murderous aura was monstrous. At this moment, they could kill gods and Buddhas. Not only the 10,000 Thunder Saint, but also the 5 Elements Palace and the 9 Heavens Holy Land. At this moment, they also attacked recklessly. They sealed off all directions. They swore to kill the other party. Lin Xian waved his hand, and Ruzalong quickly came in. He raised his hand and summoned the Black Earth, and the two of them entered. At the same time, Lin Xian completely tore open the seal of the saint's hand bone. Suddenly, a terrifying force surged out and flooded the entire space. Oh no, run! The people in the passage were so scared that their scalps went numb. They turned around and fled. In an instant, they were enveloped by the saint's pressure. They turned into a large bloody mist. Only some experts were able to escape. However, their bodies were also shattered. Only one of their heads remained intact and reassembled in the distance. Their faces were filled with horror. Hurry up and leave. These people did not dare to stay any longer, and they did not want to know how the battle was going. The saint's pressure was too terrifying. Damn it, was that kid crazy? How could he resist this power? Could it be that he wanted to die together with them? These people were terrified as they fled. In the main hall, the people from the three holy lands screamed again and again. They did not expect that the other party would dare to activate the saint's pressure. Previously, although they were terrified by the saint's hand bone, their lives were not threatened, because they knew that the other party did not dare to go all out. Otherwise, it would be difficult for the other party to survive. But now, the other party had gone all out. Why? They could not understand. In an instant, many elders and geniuses were pierced by the saint's pressure. Their bodies split open in the sky and turned into a bloody mist. It was sad and beautiful, but it made people despair. Hurry up and recall our land tokens. The elders of the three holy lands roared as if they had gone mad. An immortal palace floated over and the door opened, storing the remaining people inside. A purple lightning pool descended, spreading terrifying lightning and also enveloping the remaining elders of the myriad thunder holy land. In the sky, the five elements flag rolled and enveloped the surviving people of the five elements palace. These three magic treasures had been resisting the saint's hand bone previously, so they could not use them. But now the saint's hand bone had completely erupted, and they could not resist it. They quickly used these three magic treasures to protect the remaining people and prevent them from being killed. The remaining people had all gone into hiding. In the space, there was only the saint's pressure and the sea of blood that filled the sky. Although the people of the three holy lands had used their super trump cards, only a small number of people survived, about 1/5 of them. The rest of them were all killed. Moreover, even if they hid in their trump cards, they still suffered a fierce impact. The three magic treasures kept retreating, swaying in the sky. On the other side, inside the black earth, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon heaved a sigh of relief. They looked outside through the light screen. When they saw that the three holy lands had suffered heavy losses, the two of them laughed. Chapter 2520. The Crimson Dragon sneered. You let these guys chase us. Now you know what it's like. But it's a pity that we didn't kill them all. It's already very good to be able to do this. It's impossible to kill them all. If we hadn't used the hand bone to block their three magic treasures, I'm afraid it would have been very difficult to kill the 5-element saint and the 1,000 thunder saint. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. The black earth kept swaying in the sky, also suffering a strong impact. However, this was a super spirit ship. Although the impact was fierce, it couldn't be broken at all. Therefore, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon weren't worried. They stabilized their bodies in midair and quickly communicated with each other. Lin Xian frowned. I'm very curious. Who killed the 9 firmament saint? You really didn't do it? The Crimson Dragon asked. Lin Xian shook his head. That's strange. That guy had the immortal palace. It seemed that this immortal palace could withstand the pressure of a saint. However, the 9 firmament saint was killed. What kind of method was this? Could it be that there were others who had the saint's magic treasures? Boy, be careful. Those who came in this time were all extremely terrifying people. There were even existences like the Saint Physique. Who knew if there were any mysterious people hiding here? For example, the Yi family and the Yaoguang sacred land both had imitations of extreme weapons. If the power was fully unleashed, it would be extremely terrifying. It was not inferior to the pressure of a saint. Perhaps there was another reason. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. What was the reason? The Crimson Dragon asked. A mole. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Remember when I used divine attraction to injure the 1,000 Thunder Saint? They couldn't react at all. Even if the 1,000 Thunder Saint was heavily protected, I still succeeded. Therefore, a mole was the most difficult to guard against. You mean someone inside the 9 firmament sacred land killed the 9 firmament saint? The dark red divine dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. What was he after? The 9 firmament saint's death was a great shock. Even if these people returned alive, they would be punished by the Holy Land. The Holy Land would definitely not let them off easily. What if the death of the ninth firmament saint was beneficial to that person? For example, he could become the new son of saint. You're saying that it was done by a successor candidate. The Crimson Dragon instantly understood. Indeed, the position of the Holy Son was very coveted. However, the Holy Son was usually very powerful and had a lot of support. It was impossible for others to plot against him. However, if a Holy Son was seriously injured and his whereabouts were unknown, then it was a different story. If he could quietly get rid of the other saints, there was a possibility that the other saints would become the next generation of saints. Then, he would have the chance to become the future master of the Holy Land. To everyone, this was another form of temptation. Even the inner members of the 9 heavens, holy ground, would do something like this. After all, the human heart was the most vicious. Forget it. This matter has nothing to do with me. Let them fight each other. It would be best if they were torn apart. Lin Xian sneered. He prepared to take back the saint's hand bone and leave. Forming a seal with his palms, Lin Xian cast a few seals and floated out of the black earth. He flew forward, wanting to seal it again. However, this time he frowned. What's going on? The seal has failed. Lin Xian frowned. The Crimson Dragon was also puzzled. It shouldn't be. Let me try. He waved his dragon claws and cast a few seals. However, this time he also failed. *CK, what's going on? Could it be that the seal can't work? Xiao Xuanzi, how big of a seal did you tear? It's not too big. It's the same as before, 3 seals. Previously, when Lin Xian fought against the battle tribe Zhanwuhan, he tore this kind of seal. At that time, he also successfully resealed the saint's hand bone. But now he realized that he couldn't reseal it. This was too unbelievable. When he fought against Zhanwuhan, he was only an early-stage 7-star king. Now he was already a mid-stage 7-star king. His strength and cultivation had undergone earth-shattering changes. It could be said that it should be easier to seal it. But now he realized that it was not like that at all. Oh no, this is strange. Something must have gone wrong. Damn it, this ancient tomb is too sinister. The Crimson Dragon was also scared. He had a feeling that this ancient tomb was definitely not simple. Now, the saint's hand bone was very likely because of the ancient tomb. Sure enough, as soon as he finished speaking, the seal on the saint's hand bone outside was broken again. Even more terrifying pressure swept across the area. This time, not only the entire hall, but the surrounding passageways and the distant space were all affected. Oh no! The black earth was instantly sent flying. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's blood was also boiling. In addition, the martial artists of the 3 holy lands in the Immortal Palace, the Lightning Sea, and the 5 element flags were so scared that their scalps went numb. They could no longer care about anything else and quickly retreated. They turned into a stream of light and tore the void apart. Lin Xian did not leave. He stared at the saint's hand bone. Now he could also leave safely. However, he still had to seal the hand bone. So he stayed here. Crack! 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 At this moment, the surrounding void quickly shattered, and black holes appeared one after another and spread in all directions. Oh no, it's this situation again. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's expressions changed. At this moment, not only them, but all the martial artists in the ancient tomb exclaimed. These people were scattered in all directions. Some were fighting for treasures, some were killing, and some were resisting the array formation. At this moment, without exception, cracks appeared in the void around them. This scene was extremely similar because not long ago they found that there were 99 heads of invincible kings in the bronze cauldron. Then the void shattered, and they were teleported in all directions. Now the same thing was happening. Damn it, what's happening? These people screamed crazily. Could it be that someone else found the 99 heads of invincible kings? In the Yi family, Yi Wudao frowned. In the wavering light, sacred ground. The wavering light, Saint's eyes flickered. The 108 godly demon halos around his body protected him. Could it be that there was something similar to the bronze cauldron and the 99 heads in the ancient tomb? Not only them, but Gu Santong Wuhua, Murong Qingqing, Xinjing Qiu, Xing Tian, and all the other experts were stunned. In the next moment, they were swallowed by the black hole and could not resist at all. On Lin Xian's side, the black earth was also swallowed by the black hole. Damn it! Lin Xian roared and used his last chance to cast another set of seals and float out. He did not know what happened next. The world spun and the surroundings were dark. After an unknown period of time, light finally appeared. This is... Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon hurriedly looked outside. They saw that the outside was incomparably vast and boundless. What is that place? Is it another strange space? The Crimson Dragon was shocked. Chapter 25-21. Is it another strange space? The Crimson Dragon was surprised. Lin Xian shook his head. No, look at the ground below. It's exactly the same as the ground of the palaces in the ancient tomb. It's filled with a desolate aura. I think we should still be in the ancient tomb. I guess that this should also be a large hall. It's just that the hall is too spacious and I couldn't see anything at all. Damn it, we've been teleported again. Could it be that the bone of the saint has triggered some mechanism in the ancient tomb? That's possible. Lin Xian nodded. The Crimson Dragon's mouth twitched. Xiao, Xuanzi, do you think the pressure emitted by the bone of the saint has triggered the corpse of the saint? Don't talk nonsense. Hearing this, Lin Xian was so scared that his scalp went numb. They couldn't even resist a wisp of the saint's pressure. If the ancient saint buried in the ancient tomb was resurrected or his corpse mutated, all of them would be finished. Not to mention the clan of the ancients, the peerless sacred grounds, or even the black earth, they couldn't do anything. The saint was too far away from them. One look from the saint could probably kill all of them. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked by his own thoughts. Impossible. He's been dead for tens of thousands of years. It's impossible for him to be resurrected. Suddenly, the Crimson Dragon exclaimed, "Kid, the bone of the saint is back." Sure enough, they discovered that on the floor of the black earth, there was a white bone of a hand lying quietly. At this moment, the bone of the saint was sealed again. Great! Seeing this scene, Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. He waved his hand, and the bone of the saint floated into his hand. It's indeed sealed. He was worried that they would be teleported away. What would happen to the bone of the saint? Wouldn't they lose it? He didn't expect it to come back on its own. This is very strange. Don't move. Let's see where we are first. In the sky, spatial cracks appeared, and figures appeared one after another. It seemed that other than Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon, the others had also been teleported to the vast and boundless hall. More and more people appeared, and as soon as they appeared, they began to shine with boundless light as they formed a protective barrier. Then he looked around in bewilderment. What was that? When they saw the black spirit boat floating in the sky, they all looked as if they were facing a formidable enemy. With a flash of light, the spirit boat disappeared. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon appeared in the void. It was that brat. These people were shocked. They didn't expect it to be Lin Xian. We were teleported here as well. Lin Xian said indifferently. He didn't want to start a war for no reason. These people heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that the other party had been teleported here just like them. Damn it! What was going on? What happened? These people discussed animatedly. They didn't know that it was caused by Lin Xian's saint's hand bone. Otherwise, these people would have gone up and fought Lin Xian to the death. Young master. Xing Tian also teleported over. He immediately took a step forward and arrived beside Lin Xian. Other than him, Elder Li, Elder Lu, Elder Wang, Peacock, Hu Yidao, and the others all rushed over from all directions. Elder Brother Xian, Murong Qingqing also came. Lin Xian, elder brother, Shen Jingqiu ran over cheering. Lin Xian hugged the two of them in his arms and asked with concern, "Are the two of you injured?" Seeing the scene, the others were envious and jealous. F***CK. This is the pinnacle of life. That damn brat. How dare he show off his love on the spot? Someone go and destroy him. The sound of gnashing teeth could be heard. Boom! They stopped talking because a golden figure was teleported out of the sky. This person was tall and had a golden body. He was exuding vitality like an ancient demon god. Yi Wudao! Why do I feel that his aura has become stronger again? Heavens! Did this saint physique obtain some heaven-defying opportunity and breakthrough? Everyone screamed in fear. The saints and saintesses also looked as if they were facing a great enemy. Indeed, they felt that Yi Wudao's aura was much stronger than before. Moreover, it wasn't his full strength. It was just the aura that he occasionally emitted when he stood there casually. He had broken through. The four symbols, saints, clenched their fists. It was unbelievable that he had broken through a small realm in such a short time. The saintess of the illusion palace's eyes also flickered. As expected of a saint physique, he actually had such a great opportunity. A prince of the Nine Li dynasty was also very envious. After Yi Wudao appeared, he stood in the void and looked around. Soon, he saw Lin Xian and greeted him with a smile. Lin Xian also responded. Behind Leaf Daudenier, the other elders and experts of the Yi clan hurried over to join him. After him, the Alcade Saint also arrived, and the light on his body became even brighter. Why do I feel that the Alcade Saint's aura is even stronger than before? After the Alcade Saint appeared, he also looked around. The light on his body was so bright that no one could see his expression clearly. Only his eyes were like divine lamps. Powerful figures arrived one after another. Among them, there was a handsome man in a green robe. He was handsome like a banished immortal. He was the Taixien saint of the Taixien sacred ground. As soon as he appeared, the light on his body quickly disappeared, and he looked like an ordinary person. Everyone glanced at him and didn't pay attention to him, because his aura seemed to be slightly weaker than the Alcade Saint and Yi Wudao. More and more people gathered. Among them, people from the 9 Heavens sacred ground, 5 Elements Palace, and 10,000 Thunders sacred ground had all arrived. However, these people didn't know what had happened. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so calm. Among them, there was a man in the 9 Heavens sacred grounds crowd. His eyes were shining, and he looked very excited. When he looked up and saw Lin Xian in the sky, he immediately sneered. "Kid, let's see how you'll die later." He was a candidate of the 9 Heavens sacred emperor. Previously, he had done something big. If this matter spread, he believed that it would definitely shock everyone. Moreover, no one would suspect him. Everyone would suspect Lin Xian. In this way, not only did he benefit from it, but he also framed others. It could be said that he had killed many birds with one stone. Around them, where exactly was this place? The others were discussing it. Those elders also gathered together and began to quickly discuss the matter. Boom! Boom! However, at this moment, the sky split open again, and 3 powerful auras came over. As soon as the auras appeared, the void collapsed. Everyone's hair stood on end, and they retreated crazily. Some of the martial artists who retreated too slowly were directly sent flying. Damn it! Who is it? There's danger! Hurry up and defend! Cries of alarm sounded one after another. Everyone was on guard, but when they saw the attackers, they were stunned. In the sky, 3 black holes appeared. An immortal palace floated, and a lightning pool spread out. A 5 elements flag swayed in the sky. The 3 artifacts appeared in the sky. They didn't attack, but the aura that they emitted casually sent those people flying. Heavens! So powerful! This was the trump card of the Five Elements Palace. 10,000 thunders, sacred ground, and 9 heavens, sacred emperor. Why did they use it? What happened to them? Everyone was discussing. Chapter 25-22. The people from the myriad thunders, sacred ground, 9 heavens, sacred ground, and 5 elements palace were also stunned. They quickly flew up to welcome them. They're here. Below them, the saint from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, sneered. Whoosh! In the sky, the immortal palace opened, and 7 or 8 elders walked out. They were not staggering, but their faces were pale, and there was blood on their bodies. It was a shocking sight. What happened? The elites from the 9 heavens, sacred ground, who came to welcome them, saw this scene, and their hearts beat wildly. They had a bad premonition. Could it be that they had encountered a killing array in the ancient tomb? The others were also puzzled. The people from the 5 elements palace and 10,000 thunder, sacred ground, became nervous. Even the 9 heavens, sacred ground elder, who came out of the immortal palace, was injured. Then, would the people from the lightning pool and 5 elements palace be affected as well? Sure enough, when the people from the lightning pool and 5 elements palace walked out, they were also stunned. Because these people's auras were weak and their eyes were red. Their killing intent was shocking, and their bodies were covered in a bloody light. What happened? They asked, and the others also watched with wide eyes. But in the next moment they were stunned. Because the elders of the 3 sacred grounds were crying together. They were crying like crazy. It was as if they were newborn children. Heavens, what's going on? Are these elders in a daze? A peerless, almighty expert was actually crying? These people couldn't believe their eyes. The elites from the 3 sacred grounds, who came to welcome them, were also stunned. What happened? Their hearts were beating faster and faster. It seemed that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Wait, where's the saint? Where's the saint? The people from the 3 sacred grounds finally reacted. So many elites had come, and the others seemed to have arrived as well. Only the saints of the 3 sacred grounds were missing. Could it be that the saints of their sacred grounds were trapped by some kind of array? Our holy son has been killed. The people from the 5 elements palace were the first to scream. What? This voice was like a bolt from the blue, and the elites from the 5 elements palace fainted on the ground. The others also cried out in surprise, not daring to believe their own ears. The 5 elements saint was killed? Heavens, that's impossible. I don't believe it. What a joke. Who dared to attack the 5 elements saint? Who could kill the 5 elements saint? Everyone was discussing it. In the crowd, the saint from the 9 heavens, sacred ground. What's going on? He was stunned. He was waiting for news. He knew that the saint of the 9 firmaments had been killed. If this news came out, it would definitely shock the world. However, the 5 elements saint had actually been killed. Heavens! Was he the one who killed the 9 firmament saint? Why was the 5 elements saint killed as well? What exactly happened? He didn't know. The other saints and saintesses also frowned. Yi Wu Dao, the all-Cade Holy Sun, and the Prince of the Grand Xia all had grave expressions on their faces. Murong Qingqing and the others were also puzzled. Lin Xian coldly snorted. As expected, these people still came out alive. Our holy son has also been killed. We won't be able to answer to the Holy Land. The elders of the 9 heavens, sacred ground, and the myriad thunder, sacred ground, screamed in agony. Their faces were filled with despair. The people from the other 2 holy lands were also stunned when they heard the news. The 3 holy sons had all been killed. The countless experts, holy sons, and holy daughters in the hall were all dumbfounded at this moment. To be honest, when they first heard that the 5 elements saint had been killed, they didn't believe it. However, when they thought about it carefully, it wasn't impossible. Although the 5 elements saint was powerful, he was only average among all the holy sons. If there was a powerful holy son with enough trump cards, it wasn't impossible for him to kill the five elements saint alone. However, no one was willing to kill a holy son and offend a holy land. Therefore, at first, they suspected that it might be some itinerant cultivator or a lunatic like the twin kings of Middle Ground. However, when they heard that the nine heaven saint and the myriad thunder saint had also been killed, they couldn't accept it. They couldn't accept it. What a joke! The death of a holy son might be an accident. However, 3 holy sons had died together. What was going on? Could it be that they had encountered a peerless killing array in the ancient tomb? Their hearts beat wildly. After all, this was the ancient tomb of a holy son. There were some things left behind that they couldn't resist at all. For example, if the 99 heads of the invincible kings were released, not to mention 3 holy sons, even 30 holy sons wouldn't be able to resist it. The people from the 3 holy lands were too unlucky. Could it be that they had encountered a peerless killing array at the same time? The others discussed animatedly. The 9 heavens saint's face was also gloomy. How could there be such a coincidence? Well, it'll help me cover it up. However, that kid got off easy. He looked at Lin Xian. The eyes of the holy sons and holy daughters of the other holy lands flickered. The powerhouses of the 3 holy lands hurriedly asked, "Damn it, what did you say? How could our holy son be killed? What's going on? What's going on? Tell us, who killed our holy son?" Could it be that it was really a peerless killing array in the ancient tomb? It wasn't a peerless killing array. The elders of the 3 holy lands went crazy. They looked around. Then they stared in a direction. The surviving elders roared and pointed forward. "It's him. It's that kid. He was the one who killed our holy son." What? It wasn't a killing array. It was killed by someone. Who was it? Was it really the twin kings of Middle Ground? These people went crazy. They followed the fingers of the 3 holy lands elders and looked into the distance. Along the way, those martial artists who were pointed in the direction instantly dodged. Even the elders and holy sons also dodged. Their scalps went numb. What kind of joke was this? They didn't kill any holy son, and they didn't want to be the scapegoat. Therefore, in an instant, everyone ran away faster than rabbits. However, there was a group of people who didn't dodge. They were the people of Immortal Palace. Everyone looked in that direction. When they saw Lin Xian and the powerhouses of Immortal Palace, their scalps went numb. They weren't the twin kings of Middle Ground, but the people of Immortal Palace. Could it be that the powerhouses of Immortal Palace killed the 3 holy sons? But that shouldn't be the case. No matter how powerful the powerhouses of Immortal Palace were, they couldn't compete with the 3 holy lands. After all, if the 3 holy lands joined forces, even a clan of the ancients like the Yi family would have a headache, let alone Immortal Palace. For a moment, countless eyes fell on Lin Xian and the others. Among them, Shen Jingqiu, Murong Qingqing, and the others were also stunned. Peacock, Hu Yidao, and the others were also confused. The martial artists of Immortal Palace were even more stunned. Elder Li, Elder Wang, and Elder Lu were stunned as well. Xing Tian shouted coldly, "Nonsense!" Elder Li also stood out. "If you want to fight, we'll accompany you. But don't use such unnecessary excuses. We're not afraid of fighting you." The other 2 elders stood out. They were emitting powerful auras. The martial artists of Immortal Palace behind them also had cold expressions. What a joke! How dare they slander them? They wouldn't take the blame. Chapter 25-23. Damn it! Do you think we're afraid of you? Today, we'll kill all of you. The people from the 3 holy lands had gone mad. Their murderous aura surged like an ocean, sending chills down everyone's spines. What was going on? The surviving elders were going crazy. They were even willing to burn their life force and soul to attack. Could it be that this brat really did it? Holy Maiden! Everyone retreated. Seeing that a battle was about to break out, the elders of the Purple Dawn Holy Land and the Jade Lake Holy Land cried out in alarm. Their Holy Maiden was still beside Lin Xian. Lin Xian released the two girls and said, "You two, go back to your respective holy lands." Big Brother Xian, Murong Qingqing shouted. Shen Jingqiu was also confused. They realized that Lin Xian hadn't explained anything. This made them have a thought, but they didn't dare to be sure. "Be good and go back." Lin Xian patted them on the back. Then, with a burst of energy, he pushed the two of them out. When the two of them returned to their respective sacred grounds, they still wanted to go back. However, they were held back by their respective elders. What a joke! Seeing the three holy lands fight to the death, they didn't want their Holy Maiden to take any risks. "Kid, you'll die today. No one in the heavens or on earth can save you. I'll use your blood as a sacrifice to our holy sun. Don't worry, I won't let you die so easily. I'll pull out your tendons, skin you alive, and refine your soul. I'll suppress you in hell forever. You and the rest of the immortal palace will not be spared." The cultivators from the three holy lands surrounded Lin Xian and the others with murderous intent. The others retreated frantically, afraid of being caught in the crossfire. However, Wu Hua, Gu Santong, Yi Wu Dao, and the others frowned. Wu Hua chanted Amitabha. "Brother Lin, do you need help?" Yi Wu Dao stepped forward. "If you want to fight, I'll accompany you." His golden blood surged to the sky, making people want to kneel. Seeing someone step forward, the cultivators from the three holy lands frowned. The surviving elders went crazy. Whoever dared to stop them would be dealt with together. They'd really gone crazy. What? Were these people from the three holy lands crazy? Were they going to wage war against the remote antiquity families? Lin Xian also spoke up when he saw the atmosphere becoming increasingly tense. "That's right, I did kill the 5-element saint and the 10,000 thunder saint." What? Everyone was stunned. Heavens, what is he saying? He had killed 2 holy sons. No way, this brat actually admitted it. How could this be? How could he possibly have the strength to kill 2 saints? I don't believe it. What exactly happened? Even Leaf, Dao Denier, and No Flower were stunned. They also didn't expect Lin Xian to admit it. Previously, they had acted because they felt that the people from the 3 holy lands were being unreasonable. That was why they couldn't just stand by and watch. But now the other party had actually admitted to it. This made them feel as though they had no justification for their actions. "Humph." Lin Xian spoke again. "But I didn't kill the 9 firmament saint son. I don't know who killed that unlucky guy. But if you people from the 9 firmament holy lands want to put the blame on me, I don't mind. Anyway, killing 1 more or 1 less doesn't make a difference to me." No difference. The corners of everyone's mouths twitched. "You killed a saint. Do you think you're chopping cabbage?" At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. They really couldn't understand what had happened. How could the other party kill 3 saints in a row? The martial artists from the 3 holy lands who didn't know the truth were furious when they heard this. All of them were filled with murderous intent. "Damn brat! Kneel down and accept your death. Kill him. You must kill him. Avenge our saints." Originally, they didn't believe that their saints had been killed. But now, it seemed that their 3 saints might really have been killed. Moreover, the murderer was the person in front of them. The elders of the 3 holy lands were trembling with anger. Good, good, good. Brat, you've got guts. You actually dared to admit it. In that case, kneel down and accept your death. Not only you, none of the people from the immortal palace will live. I want all of you to have a taste of living a life worse than death. Killing intent filled the air. The people from the 3 holy lands were like killing gods as they surrounded Lin Xian and everyone from Immortal Palace. Elder Brother Xian, Elder Brother Lin Xian. Murong Qingqing and Xin Jingqiu were extremely nervous. The others also frowned. Of course, there were also many people who sneered. They thought that Lin Xian and the Immortal Palace were too arrogant. They actually dared to kill the saints. They deserved to die. Immortal Palace's side was also furious. The other party was actually so overbearing. Even if their palace master killed these holy children, so what? Did they really think that the Immortal Palace was easy to bully? They didn't think that Lin Xian would kill these people for no reason. Lin Xian must have his reasons for killing the 3 saints. They also knew that the 3 saints weren't good people. They had targeted their palace master more than once. Sure enough, Lin Xian said in a deep voice, "I killed them because they deserve to die. If you don't agree with me, feel free to attack. I'll take it." Lin Xian wasn't afraid. At most, he would tear the saint's hand bone. He didn't believe that these people could resist. Don't talk nonsense with him. Kill. The elders of the 9 heavens holy lands, 5 elements palace and 1,000 thunder holy lands roared. Countless figures charged over. Attack! Xingtian and elderly roared as well. The people from the Immortal Palace all attacked. A great battle broke out. However, there were too many people from the 3 holy lands. It could be said that they were 3 times more than Lin Xian's side. Therefore, Lin Xian's side was at a disadvantage for a while. The surrounding holy lands began to discuss when they saw this scene. The Immortal Palace was too reckless. 1 against 3. This was a situation of certain death, unless they had some kind of trump card. So what if they had a trump card? Did they think that the 3 holy lands were pushovers? The strength of these holy lands wasn't too different. Moreover, the 3 saint emperors working together was enough to make up for everything. Even the clan of the ancients wouldn't dare to start a war with them. This time the Immortal Palace was doomed. Many people sneered. Sure enough, the people from the Immortal Palace were forced to retreat. The eyes of the people from the 3 holy lands were red like the eyes of demons. Do you really think that you can contend against us? Do you really want to kill all of you? Murong Qingqing and Xin Jingqiu cried out when they saw this scene. They wanted to send people from the holy lands to help. However, they were stopped by their elders. Holy Maiden, you can't. This isn't a game. Yes, this isn't an ordinary battle. The death of the holy sons of the 3 holy lands had made these people go crazy. If they attacked now, they would definitely fight to the death with the 3 holy lands. Although the Jade Lake and Xixia holy lands were powerful, they didn't want to offend the 3 holy lands for no reason. Don't worry, Holy Maiden. At the critical moment, we will help and save Lin Xian. Xixia and Wavering Light Holy Lands elders said in a low voice, "You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."